Raphael Bainan is suing his former employee, Eric Myers, for the cost of a pickup truck, a gun, and a leather holster.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Case 3044, Bainan versus Myers.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Mr. Bainan, you have a drywall business?
Yes, Northstar Drywall. I have been in business 30 years.
The defendant worked for you for a period of time. You can tell me about that. And it is your claim that during that period of time, you sold him a truck and he did not finish paying for it.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Myers says that he paid you $800 for the truck, that there was never a fixed price that you came up with for the truck, and that shortly after he had possession of the truck, it died, and it's no longer drivable. What did you do, junk it?
We did not junk it, but it is out on her property at the moment.
So you have it?
Not in my possession, but yes, we still have it.
Yeah, we still have it. So, Mr. Myers, I'm going to start with you. When did you start to work for the plaintiff?
I believe it was around June or July of 2022.
And you were homeless at the time?
At that point, yes.
You moved on to the plaintiff's property with his permission?
Yes.
In a trailer or a camper or what?
And we were actually in a big ice shack.
An ice shed?
Yeah,
Who's
shack.
we?
Me and my witness.
Is that your girlfriend?
No.
Who is it?
She is my ex-girlfriend.
She was your girlfriend. You were living together in the ice shed?
Yes.
Was it his ice shed?
Yes, it was.
You had a car?
She owned a car at that time when we met. A couple months after we met, she ended up crashing it, and we were left vehicleless. And at the time, I was working for him, so we worked out a deal to get the truck off the property to let me use while I worked for him to help us get around.
Okay. And what was the arrangement that you made at the time that you purchased the truck from him, that you made the deal with him for the purchase of the truck? The truck was not running. It was being used as a storage facility by the plaintiff.
Yes.
Did you spend any money to get it running?
I did spend about $100, I do believe.
Okay. Now, when you agreed to purchase the truck from him, were you over the phone, in person?
It was in person.
Okay. I'd like to see what you have, Mr. Bainan, of the amount that you contracted for with the defendant for the purchase of this truck. And Sarah, would you take a look for me to see a range?
Sure, I have that pulled up.
Okay, great. Hold on one second. Okay, let me just see what you have.
Okay. I have a contract, but
Well,
it was sitting on the office table, and he refused to sign it, so.
this is not a contract. He didn't sign this.
No, he refused to sign it. It was sitting on the office table.
Well, he didn't sign it then. They didn't sign it for a reason.
Push it to the side, so.
Okay. Then it's not a contract, sir.
Well, no.
No. Okay, you have any other proof with you that he agreed to pay $2,200 for the truck? Where did you get the truck, by the way?
Actually comes from Georgia. Well, I bought the truck probably 7 years earlier. I had it for quite some time.
And who did you purchase it from?
A private party.
Was it registered?
Yes, I registered it as soon as I purchased it.
Was it registered when you sold it to him?
Yes,
And it was a current registration?
Well, when I signed the title over, then he went and put it in his name.
Do you have the title to the truck?
Yeah.
I'd like to take a look at it. Mr. Myers?
Let's see, registration and the title.
I'd like you to tell me, you sound like a pretty intelligent guy. How much did you purchase the truck for?
We wrote $100, but...
No. How much did you purchase? She's looked up the value, which she's going to tell me in a moment, both private party, trade-in, etc. You paid $800 towards this truck.
Over time, yes.
Is that right?
I disagree with that.
How much did he pay?
I've only received one payment of $100.
Well, then he's going to show me the rest. Is that money that you took out of his pay?
Yes.
You have any other proof that you paid him any other money?
I do not have paper proof.
Well, that's unfortunate. But let's take for a moment, Mr. Myers, that you did pay him more than the $100 that he took out of your pay, and then you quit, then you left. What did you believe the purchase price was, sir? Don't look there.
Okay.
You don't look like a stupid person. You're buying a truck. You say you paid $800 over time. Let's say I believe you. You don't look like a stupid man who would pay $800 if you didn't know how much the total purchase price was. Okay. So you tell me how much you believed the total purchase price was. Now you're looking over there. You see how you were looking over here? Now you're looking over there.
Original purchase price All that happened is he was going to give us the truck, us put it in my name, so we can drive it and then figure out a price later after we fixed it and figured out how much it's going to cost to fix the problems on it and to see the shape that it's.
Well, you said that it cost you $100 to get it up and running. That's what you said it cost you. How much was the truck, sir?
Over 2 months, he took money out of paychecks that I worked for him.
Well, show me that, because he says he only took out one payment of $100 and then you quit.
No, that's not true.
You have proof of how much you took out of his pay?
I have a calendar of the weeks he worked and how much I paid him.
Okay, I'd like to take a look at that.
Okay.
Maybe it'll be informative to me. Sarah, what's the range for this truck?
So I adjusted it based on the fact that it wasn't running, so I put it fair condition as opposed to good, and the 250,000 miles based on the complaint. To trade it in, which is to a more official dealership, $212 to around $1,000. And a private party, you know, the ranges are different, ranges from $1,100 to $2,500.
Got it. Oh, well, you prepared this calendar, sir. All this calendar was prepared just recently because it's all in the same handwriting. Who wrote this calendar?
This is my daughter. She's my secretary.
Who wrote this calendar? All right. This is nonsense. She just wrote this today. Yesterday, the day before yesterday. It wasn't written. You can only introduce a paper document if the notations are made under the law contemporaneously with the event. That means at the same time as the event. This was all written by the same person at the same time with the same pen in different months. So this was all done in preparation for this case. So it's hearsay, inadmissible. Where did you get the
Raphael Beenan claims his former employee, Eric Myers, owes for the cost of a pickup truck, a gun, and a leather holster.
Now, you have any other proof that he paid you only $100?
No.
No. Okay. And where did you get the purchase price of $2,200 for a truck that wasn't running? At most, it's worth $1,000. Where did you get a figure of $2,200 from?
Well, it's Kelly Blue Book. We looked at that, and like I say, the truck is from Georgia. There was no rust. It was rust-free, which you
But
don't
not
see.
rust-free. It wasn't running. You were using it, according to you, as storage, because the other part of your complaint is for a handgun that you say was in the truck that you never got back. You have the truck now?
I have it, yes, but it's on her property.
You have it. What are you showing me? You're showing me a picture of a gun that you had.
Well, it went missing, and nobody else took it. He was the only one who had access to where the gun was stored, so.
Well, that's not true. He was out shooting with somebody with a gun, according to you. Who was he shooting with?
That I do not know, Your Honor.
Who were you shooting the gun with?
I was shooting it with Matthew.
Is that right, Matthew?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. So Matthew had access to the gun. Who's Matthew?
Matthew's my foreman. He's been with me 15 years, so.
Yeah, okay. Matthew. After you were shooting the gun with the defendant, what did you do with it?
I left before he was done shooting, and last I seen it was in one of the sheds.
In a shed?
Yeah.
Okay. You're his foreman.
Yes.
Foremen usually have people that work for them?
Yep.
Yep is not an answer. Yes is an answer.
Yes, ma'am.
How many people work under you?
Right now, just 2.
2 in addition to yourself?
Yes.
Do they come on this property?
Yeah.
Yes.
They just started working in the last 6 months.
At the time that he was there, how many people worked?
It was just me and Eric.
You paid him $800 for the truck because you thought that it was worth $800?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't believe you paid him $800 over time, because if you did, then you would have proof of it. But you can't take his property and retain his property and not pay for it. I don't believe that you had a fixed price of $2,200, which is why you refused to sign this contract. But I certainly believe that you owe him money for the truck. Yes. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $800. You know where the gun is?
No, absolutely not.
Where did you put it when you finished shooting it?
Where he said we walked it, there's 6 guns that all went into the garage, and they sat there for days.
Okay. That's it. $800. Judgment for the plaintiff. We're done.
This court is adjourned.
I do understand her verdict with it.
The settlement is done, so nothing I can do about it.
I just don't think he really kept track of what he was actually taking out of my pay, and, you know, it kind of showed in the case.
He felt like I was taking money out, but I was not.
Always keep better records, that's for sure.
I'm unhappy, but there's nothing I can do about it.
Purchase price is sort of the material part of a contract. That and a signature would have been nice. Any of these things. I know the plaintiff feels like he had a contract, but in reality, if you have a piece of paper that's not signed, you have a piece of paper, not a contract. Yeah. And, you know, if you can't decide on purchase price before, that's probably a good indicator that you shouldn't be entering into whatever agreement.
Turned over title to him. Mm-hmm. And he still has the truck, and it's still running. He's got to pay something for it.
Yeah, I agree.
I cannot imagine living in an ice shed shack. What was it?
I think he said ice shack, but I think you said ice shed. It all blurs together.
In
Wisconsin, I think, is where.
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, middle of winter.
That's chilly there.
Yeah.
Anthony Gonzalez is suing Sharina Charlton after Sharina's daughter assaulted her daughter and then damaged their property.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, everyone.
Case 3051, Gonzalez versus Charlton.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Will you young ladies stand up next to your parents, please? Ms. Gonzalez, it is your claim that the defendant's daughter did two things: that she assaulted your daughter and that she damaged your front door.
That is correct.
Defendant says that neither is true. Neither one of you were present when the alleged assault occurred. You were allegedly present when the door was damaged.
Correct.
Okay, so tell me your first name.
Adriana.
Adriana, do you remember the date of this incident?
No.
Do you?
No.
Tell me your name.
Juliana.
Well, let's say April 18th of this year, which is when it occurred. Do you remember what time, Juliana?
No.
Morning or afternoon?
Oh, afternoon.
Were you playing outside your house?
Yes.
Were you playing with anyone?
No.
You were alone?
Yes.
Adriana, who were you with on April 18th?
I was with a couple friends,
What's a couple of friends? How many friends?
like 4 or 5.
4 or 5 is not a couple. 4 or 5 is a group. A couple means 2.
Probably like 3.
3 what?
3 boys.
And 2 girls?
Yeah, I think.
Adriana, did you know Juliana before April 18th?
Yes.
Do you go to school together?
Yes.
How long have you gone to school together?
For like 2 years.
Were you friends or
No.
no? Did you ever have any contact with her before?
Mhm.
What?
Yes.
Is a yes. What kind of contact?
Like we was inside a group chat together. And,
She
like,
was in a
text.
group chat, a text
like
group
like
chat.
text with other people in it.
Other than being in a group chat with her, did you ever have any conversations with her?
I don't think so. I don't remember because this was a long time
Okay.
ago.
So now I'm going to go to Juliana. Did you ever have any conversations with Adriana before the 18th other than in a group chat?
Yes.
Can you keep your voice up so I can hear? I'm old.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
We used to be friends, but we stopped being friends.
When?
I don't remember. I think.
Do you know why?
No.
Okay. So now I'd like you to tell me what happened, Juliana, on the 18th in the afternoon. What were you doing outside?
I was playing around on my hoverboard.
Hoverboard is that thing that you sort of balance yourself on.
Yes.
So you were playing on the hoverboard and?
And I saw Adriana coming up to me, and I thought something would happen, so I moved into the Ring camera so my mom would catch it.
Is that because you were concerned about something from your past with her? You used to be
Yes.
friends, but then you said you just weren't friends anymore.
Yes, she doesn't really like me, and we were only friends for a little bit, and then she stopped being friends with me.
Okay. Well, she was with a group of people. Did she come up to you alone or with the group?
With a group.
And what happened when she came up to you?
She was saying something about let me get 2 minutes, so I assumed it was about my hoverboard, and I was just shaking my head, and then she slapped me, and I went inside and told my mom about it.
Okay. Adriana, before you tell me your version of what happened, and I haven't seen this, but I want to tell you that there is a video of what happened that day. I don't know what's on it. I've never seen it, but they don't put up this screen unless there's a video. And Juliana tells me that she moved in front of the Ring camera because she was a little afraid and she wanted her mom to be able to see what was happening. So before you tell me your version of the events, I want to tell you that there is a very strong probability that the Ring camera picked up what happened.
Yes.
That day? Got it?
Yes, it did.
So now I want you to keep your voice up and tell me your version of what happened that day.
Okay, so me and my friends were walking because there is a man who gives out drinks and snacks. And we did not want to go back to my mom's house because it was a long walk.
Just a second. Get to what happened when you saw her.
Okay, so we had saw her, and then I had ran to her, and then I had said what she had said, yes.
Give me 2 minutes.
Yeah, give me 2 minutes. I think that, as she said, that she thought that it was about the hoverboard. And I don't know about the shaking the head or anything.
What? Just a second. What did give me 2 minutes mean?
It means, like, let me hit you, because she had hit me in school. She always used to hit me in school.
Just a second. You came up to her and said, give me 2 minutes, and then you hit her.
Yes.
Now, Miss Charlton,
Yes, ma'am.
I've read your answer.
Yes.
Is this the first time your daughter told that story to you? Just listen to me very carefully.
No, it's not the first time, no.
You mean your daughter told you that she assaulted the plaintiff that day when she came in and told you what happened?
She never came in and told me.
Okay, well,
at
when
that
you
moment.
asked her...
When I asked
Miss
her.
Miss Charlton, I want you to be very clear. Did your daughter tell you the same story that she just told me?
Yes.
I want you to tell me verbatim what she told you.
Adriana
Because I read your answer.
Yes.
Your answer comes to me from evidently what she told you.
Yes.
And I'm going to look at it again so that I'm sure. In your answer, you wrote, Juliana got aggressive and threatened Adriana, so Adriana was forced to defend herself. That's what you wrote because that's what she originally told you, but that's not what she just told me.
No, that's not.
That's not what she just told me. What she just told me was she walked up to her, said, give me 2 minutes. I don't know what that means. And then she hit her.
Yes, that's what she told me.
So where did you get the fact that this young lady became aggressive? There was nothing aggressive about that.
Yeah, it was nothing aggressive about it.
So that your answer is mistaken.
Yes.
So either you made up that statement because you signed your answer, or that's what your daughter told you when she came home.
No.
So you were mistaken when you made that up in your answer, the
Yes.
part about her defending herself.
Yes.
So you acknowledge that your daughter just hit her.
Yes.
Then that's so easy. Now I want to see the video. Let's play it again. Can you explain your actions, Adriana?
Brittany Gonzalez claims Sharina Charlton's daughter, Adriana, assaulted her daughter and damaged their door. Sharina is countersuing for online defamation.
What I just saw is you were with a group of people, you surrounded her, and you just walked up and slugged her. Explain that to me.
Okay, so Juliana, she always used to hit people in school. She used to be inappropriate in school. She used to hit people in school.
What did that have to do with what I just saw?
Yeah. So
What does that have to do with that? I mean, if I believed you, which I don't, what does that have to do with this behavior of yours?
Okay, so I was just really mad as soon as I saw Juliana on her hoverboard because she, as I said, she always used to hit people and be inappropriate in school to all of us. So
Just a second. When was the last time she hit you? And be very careful. When was the last time she hit you.
It was that day at school.
Did you tell anybody about it?
I told a teacher, and I don't think that she talked to Juliana. All I know is just that I told a teacher.
Okay. When this whole incident started, did you tell your mother that Juliana had hit you in school and that you told the teacher? Careful. When this incident happened, did you tell your mother that Juliana had hit you in school and you told the teacher?
Yes. Well, not really. I just told my mom that I was about to fight this girl in school because she had hit me, because my mom had picked me up from this after-school program that's called Latchkey, and then we was like near something, and that I had told her that I was about to fight somebody in school, and I had told her that, and I just forgot what she said, what she told me after.
Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Repeat that to me, would you, that whole last soliloquy?
Yes, well, not really. I just told my mom I was about to fight this girl because she had hit me, because my mom picked me up after school program called Latchkey, and we was near something, and that I had told her I was about to fight somebody in school, and I told her that, and I just forgot what she said. She told me after.
Well, that's what I heard. I don't understand it, but I don't understand it. It's a lot of gibberish. Okay, now I want you to tell me what happened with the door.
Me? So she had come back afterwards. So you see Juliana come inside, and she was telling me to look at the camera because I was inside with my son, who's special needs at the time. We were getting ready to come out also to be with her while she was outside. She had come in and told me. I went outside to see if the hoverboard was still there. It was, so I retrieved it, brought it back in, and by that time, she had come back to kick the door in.
Is that on the ring?
It is.
I'd like to see it.
I'll swear.
What was that?
Me kicking the door.
Why?
Because I was still mad. I was still mad at Juliana.
You understand that she needs a talking to?
Yes, she had a good talking to.
Did she?
Yes.
Good for you. Can I see photographs of the damage to the door, please?
Just a second.
So it's the wood part of the door.
It's the frame, yeah.
Did you get an estimate to fix it?
I did. I have
I'd
several.
like to have it.
If I may speak, Your Honor. So when it comes to the door situation, I did try to reach out to the defendant as towards paying and helping, rectify the situation.
Good.
But
That's good to hear. Actually, that's really good to hear.
yes, ma'am. But from the pictures that she sent to me in her own personal text, I was definitely questionable about this. So from the pictures that she sent to you, you can see that she said that this was a stainless steel door.
No, the wood, the damage she's showing me is really
Yes,
wood.
but from the text message that she sent to me when I asked about the door, she said it was a stainless steel door. Then she sent me the pictures, and if you see some of the pictures, you'll see this one picture at the bottom, right here.
Let me see which one you're looking at.
This one right here.
Can I see which one she's referencing, please, Kevin?
This one right here. So if you... So looking at that one picture right there, you'll see that that was broken from a nail. Then you see that the wooden part that she's saying that Adriana broke was already from a broke prior, because it's added wood to the door. You see the...
I'm just talking about this wood.
Yes, ma'am. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That wood was added.
What difference does it make?
How can she break a stainless steel door?
This is wood.
Yes.
Is that what you claim she broke?
If I may, what she's trying to explain is that it is a steel door, and it's a custom-made door, so I can't just go to a store and say, hey, I like that door, can you please install it? It has to be built and manufactured to fit the space in my house. So for that to happen, everything has to come off. A whole new entryway has to be put in.
Are you telling me that her kicking the door caused this damage to the wood?
Correct. And the door does not shut properly, and we cannot deadbolt it.
That's what I'm saying, Your Honor. How can she be able to do that to a stainless
I
steel
don't know.
door?
Listen to me. I have no idea. I have no idea how she did it.
Right, that's
But
why
it's clear that she went up to the door
Yes, ma'am.
and kicked the door
Yes, ma'am.
because she was mad. And
Yes.
if she's mad, that means She is not in control. She may be young in years, but she's almost as big as you are.
Yes.
Do you understand? Well, she has to control that temper.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah, and I know you want, and I know that you get that.
Yes.
How many kids do you have?
3.
3. She the youngest, oldest?
She's the oldest.
Okay. Well, she's got to set an example for the younger ones. Does she do her chores?
Yes.
Great. She's got to be somehow responsible for what I'm going to do today.
Yes,
so
ma'am,
if you're very smart, you'll add to those chores list and make her pay you back for some of what I'm going to award her today.
Yes, ma'am, but she already got the money back for the door.
How did she do that?
She did a GoFundMe.
Did you?
I did.
Oh, okay. You did a GoFundMe page for the door.
Correct.
Could I see a photograph of that?
And that was because of the lack of her trying to rectify the situation through text.
Just a second. Okay, so far from the GoFundMe page, according to this, you've covered the cost of the door.
Correct.
Okay, so
it's not everybody else's responsibility, it's her responsibility.
Well, that's true. Well, that may be true.
It's
and
the
if you had
principle of
not
fact.
decided to do that, then I would have awarded you the $1,800 it was going to be to fix the door. However, you're not out of pocket for the door. So
it's still her responsibility.
It's her mother's responsibility only technically because she's a minor. Do you understand?
Sure.
Yeah, but you got paid for the door, so we're not going to get paid twice.
Has accused Sharina Charlton's daughter of assaulting her daughter and kicking their door. Sharina is countersuing, claiming Brittany defamed her online.
Your daughter really still has to understand that what she did, forget about the door. The door was just an extra piece of anger. She walked over and out of nowhere clocked her.
Yes.
That's outrageous.
Yes,
So you better give her a whole bunch of lessons in being good because I'm not buying her story.
Yes, ma'am, and I definitely, you know.
So I would say that she should work off the $500 that I'm awarding her for that sucker punch. Now, we have a counterclaim. And your counterclaim is that the plaintiff published this video on the internet, which you say defames your daughter.
Yes. It got over 12 million views without them, you know, hiding her face or anything. And then
She doesn't have to hide her face.
Well, Adriana being a minor.
She doesn't have to hide her face.
Okay.
She has no duty to hide her face in the law.
So she could just post Adriana whenever she feel like it.
She could post whatever she wants that's accurate.
Okay. What about the comments?
Her comments?
Her comments towards, yes.
It depends upon what she said. Does she talk about kicking the door? Does she talk about assault?
Yes, she said about me saying that I was sitting at home smoking crack instead of paying attention to my daughter.
Oh, just a second.
Oh, yeah.
That I want to see.
Yes, ma'am.
I have those also.
So it's not your daughter's defamation, it's yours?
Not, yes.
It's yours.
She also says that...
Shh, just a second.
Yes.
Did you write she's sitting back smoking crack?
I did.
Well, you can't accuse her of committing a crime unless you have proof. Where's the proof that she was sitting back?
I don't have any.
Well, that's defamation. That's defamation.
I never used her likeness or anything. She inserted herself into the comments with her name as the username, so everybody would know it was her, so that when she started talking, everybody who saw the video can know it's her.
I don't care. I'm telling you, you can't accuse somebody of committing a crime.
She also put saying that she has a gun, and if Adriana kept it up, then she was going to use it.
May I see that text? So far, you're absolutely right about this. No, she can tell you she has a gun.
Okay.
I also have other communications between us from the internet.
Wait, just a second. I don't want to see. Just tell me if there's something actionable there. You tell me. I mean, I don't care if the two of you are fighting back.
That I keep posting on the internet, but I never come out of my house. So that right there proves that she knows that I never come outside, that I keep to myself.
Who
And
cares?
she just wants to harass me because I'm posting her child who did something uninvited on my property.
Yeah, that's okay.
Also, that she watches me from my porch every day.
Just get over it.
Okay.
Your reward was going to be $500 for your daughter, which I would have hoped that you would have put away for her because she endured being assaulted. You weren't injured. You didn't go to the doctor, correct? Right. It was nasty. It was just nasty. And I've dressed her down. I'm awarding her $500 on the defamation case, which means neither of you get anything. You got paid for the door plus some. But you can't accuse somebody without any proof whatsoever that they're drug users.
You're correct.
Well, now you pay for it. Judgment for the plaintiff, $500. Judgment on the counterclaim, $500. They cross each other out. You leave here with nothing, except hopefully some good lessons. We're done.
This court is adjourned.
I think it was a fair decision.
Totally fine with it as long as it's all said and done and over with.
I know that they were having issues at school, you know, regarding her appearance or what have you, but it shouldn't be like that. Everybody should get along.
I don't want nothing to happen to her.
I was just out enjoying my hoverboard. I just wanted to have some fun.
I'm just glad that this is done and over with.
Yeah, I think it's time to stay separate, and I hope the mother, you know, disciplines her and makes it known that she shouldn't be doing those kind of things in the future.
Kids are kids. They should move on. Kids gonna fight every day, so.
I really hope that defendant, the mother, takes this as seriously as you insinuated to her that she should. Because I feel like if I came home to my parents, especially my father, and said, hey, some girl and I had a problem at school today, I'm gonna go fight her, okay? I would not even get 2 steps out of the room in which I was in before he would say, are you crazy? And teach me a good lesson before I even got out of the house. Yep. So I can't imagine. And the mother was just standing there as the daughter was saying, yeah, I went home and I told my mom that I had a problem with a girl at school and that I was going to go fight her. And the mother didn't have anything to say about that, nothing to say. And even in the end, you know, I could hear her say, kids are kids, you know, kids are kids. No, kids are not kids that go to other children's homes and slap them in their own driveway for no reason. So parents really need to get it together.
That's where it all starts. That's where you teach behavior. Oh, yeah. You teach behavior at home. Mm-hmm. If you're waiting for a school to teach anything other than reading, writing, and arithmetic, and want schools to teach morality and right from wrong, and then what you're doing is you're giving up your responsibility as a parent to other people. I mean, children learn from example, but they also look to their parents for guidance.
And to see what's acceptable.
Yeah, and an 11-year-old, even if she's a big 11-year-old, should not think that it's acceptable behavior, and it's not kids being kids. That doesn't look like kids being kids. That was aggressive, and a group of people coming up to one youngster that is bullying. Yeah. And it really has to stop. But the plaintiff, if I hadn't heard that she started a GoFundMe page, and actually the door was $1,800, and she got
double almost. She was honest when she was asked about it, and she presented her own proof to say that she did.
But she didn't tell me up front. She gave me the bill first. Right. But you can't post anything on the internet. You can't
It was the
accuse
clearest
someone.
case of defamation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Case number 3033, Helmanen versus Allen. All parties, please step forward.
Mary Helmanen is suing her ex-boyfriend, Lamar Allen, for the balance of a cosmetic dental loan.
Pronounce your last name.
Helmanen.
Mr. Allen was your boyfriend for a period of time?
Yes.
Doesn't appear to be a long period of time, relatively short period of time. I think if my memory is correct, you met him in October online.
Yes.
And by December, you were planning a trip to Colombia in order to have dental work done there, cosmetic dental work done.
Yes.
You suggested, according to what I've read, that he join you.
Yeah.
Would it be fair to say that at some point you said to him, you're really not comfortable traveling to South America by yourself?
Yes.
And that you would feel more comfortable if he came with you?
Yes.
At the time, in October, November, and December of last year, what kind of work were you doing?
I'm a nurse practitioner.
How long have you been doing that?
Since 2017.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm a firefighter.
Now, Mr. Allen, I'm going to come to you. The plaintiff, a very lovely-looking lady, wanted to get laminates. Laminates?
Porcelain.
Porcelain. Perfect. I come from a long line of dentists.
Okay.
I was very bad in biology and chemistry, so I went to law school. Mr. Allen.
Yes.
You have very nice teeth.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Who paid for them?
Mary did.
So, Mr. Allen, what I want you to do is explain to me, I understand that the plaintiff was going to Colombia to get her dental work done because it was cheaper there. And that you were a short-term then boyfriend, which is over now, I assume.
Yes, correct.
I want you to tell me how it came about that you went to Colombia with her and got your teeth done.
Okay. Never thought my teeth was an issue as far as us dating. Then we got there to Colombia.
So you didn't discuss your teeth being done before you got to Colombia?
Correct.
You're kidding me.
Correct.
You were just going to go. Who booked the tickets?
Mary did.
Who paid for them?
Mary did.
Who booked the hotel?
Mary did.
Who paid for the hotel?
Mary did.
We did talk about it before.
Shh, just a minute. Mr. Allen, I want you to be very, very careful with me because I read her complaint and I read your answer. And the complaint suggested that you had a price for your teeth
Yes.
before you got there.
Yes.
Well, if you had a price for your dental work, cosmetic dental work, before you got there, you had to have had some discussion about paying for it.
Yes.
Yes. Well, tell me what that discussion was.
After she brought it up, then I researched for us, like sending them information for us with my teeth for us, like how much.
Okay, so when you researched it, she gave you the name of the people
dental.
she was going
Correct.
to see in Colombia.
I was writing them back and forth through
How are you writing?
Instagram. They had a page.
Okay, so who was writing them? You were writing them?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so then it's a fair statement that you had a price from them before you went there.
Yes.
Now, how much was your dental work?
$4,200.
Ultimately, how much was your dental work?
Came to 8,000.
How much were you quoted before in this back and forth Instagram that you were doing? How much were you quoted?
It was roughly around 6,000 they quoted me.
Let me see.
I don't have it with me.
Why not? Where did you think you were going today?
Mary Helmanen claims her ex-boyfriend, Lamar Allen, owes for the balance of a cosmetic dental loan.
I'd like to see any evidence that you have. You have nothing. What is that you're showing
So
me?
I have the credit card information.
I don't need the credit card information. You paid for him.
Right.
And you paid for him in December of 2022.
Yes.
You paid for him to go, you paid for his... I want to see something from December of 2022 or January or February. Now, when did you break up?
We broke up in December.
In December, when you came back?
Yes.
Okay, something either in December, January, or February where you ask him for the money that you claim that he owes you. Show me.
Okay.
Text message.
I have a lot of that.
Good. I'd like to see him.
Okay.
Thank you.
The dates are on the top.
Yes, I'm definitely going to pay you back. I'm not going to leave you hanging, especially not owing $8,000. Seriously. Is that what you wrote to her?
Yes. I said I was gonna pay you the difference.
No, that's not what you say here.
I know, but I said that just to get off my back for us.
She says, take out a personal loan. You say, I'm definitely not going to do that.
Correct.
I'll start paying you off.
Correct.
Or I'll start paying the credit card off. She said, I paid the credit card off. Yes, I'm definitely going to pay you back. I'm not going to leave you with $8,000. Well, then start. I'm not playing your games. I did you a favor. What's a Meeks?
Oh, it's my dog.
So your dog got lost.
Yeah.
And that was your priority in February.
Yeah, of course. My dog was.
And 20 weeks from November, that's when you told me, so hopefully it'll be April, and April 19th, so that's when you told her you would be able to pay her back.
Yeah, because I always gave him the date.
I don't care. Well, there's no question based on this, sir, that you agreed to pay her back $8,000, which is what your dental bill was.
But at first, I didn't want to get him done when I got there.
What?
I said I did not want to get him done when I got there. After they said the price was different, I told her no. I said I'm not going to do it. Like I'm not gonna make you pay that much. So I told her no.
Not in these emails. You got the teeth, she got the bill.
I told her not to do it when it happened.
You had to go like this. Look at me. You had to go like this.
No, she agreed. She said, she said I'll pay for him. She said, well, we're already here. I'll pay for him. I said, no, I don't want to do it. It's too much money. So I said no.
Listen to me. You said no. You had to go like this.
But she said I'd do it. She's like, oh, well, I'll pay for it. Don't worry about it. Just pay me whenever you get your money. So I agreed with paying the difference, which is $3,000. Like I'm not gonna pay her the whole eight grand.
She may have found you adorable. Other people may find you adorable. Me, not so much. Maybe because I'm old. You told her you were going to give her back the $8,000 that it costs to do your teeth. You told her that in February. You said, I'm going to give it back to you. I'm just waiting for my refund check from the IRS. Then it was your dog that got lost. Did you ever find your dog?
Yes, I did.
Oh, that's good. I'm happy for you.
Appreciate it.
And I'm happy for you that you have nice new teeth and that you have a nice smile. You owe her $8,000. Did you have a nice trip to Colombia? She flew you there. She put you up in a hotel. I don't know who paid for the meals.
I paid for the meals. I paid for everything prior to that, and after that, like, I was paying it back, because we're together. We're a couple.
Yes, then you were a couple. Now you're not a couple anymore. Someone else is going to look at those pearlies and say, I love you. Do you understand? You have to pay for that. You know, you have to pay for that. You're a responsible man. You have a responsible job. Take care of yourself. That's what you're supposed to do. No. If you let a woman take care of you,
no woman take care
of you. If you let a woman take care of you, you're not taking care of yourself. You're a big, strong guy, and you told her you were going to pay her. That's what you did. So you got to pay her, Mr. Allen. You have to stop being a big baby. You have to pay her. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $8,000. We're done. Thank you.
This court is adjourned.
I said no one was there. We was like, well, I just paid you the difference, not the whole full amount.
I'm happy with her decision. It was fair.
She said, well, I paid for it. It'll be a gift for you. So I'm like, okay, well, then I'll do it.
I would have never given him $8,000 for free.
I guess everything changes when you break up.
I was really patient with him in paying me back, and I've never seen a cent.
Don't trust women.
He's got his teeth forever, you know?
I got a great smile, so I guess it's okay.
I'm not going to buy anyone teeth.
I think it's always risky to go to another country for any medical procedure. I mean, I'm familiar with U.S. laws, not so familiar with Colombia or anywhere else, or the guarantees for any sort of health procedure. I mean, worst case scenario, you don't come home. Best case scenario, you have cheap dental work. So
or cheap cosmetic.
Exactly, any type of surgery. Yeah, but it's always a risk in multiple forums, in your health, in your payment of money to another country that you're unfamiliar with their entire banking systems and how that works. It seems very complicated.
Very complicated. And I don't know if you remember, recently, a group of women went to Mexico. One of them went to have some cosmetic procedure, and it was dangerous there.
Yeah.
And one of them ended up not coming home.
Exactly. At the end of the day, he has the teeth.
At the end of the day, he has
She has the
teeth.
credit card bill.
Now, at least she's repaid. And I understand why some people, with the cost of medical cosmetic work here in the United States, would feel compelled to look somewhere to get it done cheaper. And, you know, most people who have any kind of cosmetic work done, whether it be dental or otherwise, interview the doctor or dentist before, have consultations. There you're just going and saying, here I am,
it's
fix
risky.
me. And I think that that's a very risky thing to do, although his teeth look terrific.
He's suing his former friend, Oliver Miller, for damages after Oliver sabotaged his website.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Hello, Judge. Case 3089, Deitch versus Miller.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Deitch, how long have you known Mr. Miller?
It's been since 7th grade, Your Honor. So what does that make, 8 years now?
Oh, my God, have people changed in
I know.
just a few years?
Tell me about it.
7th grade, teeny people. You went through middle school together and high school?
That's correct.
Did you do any post-high school schooling?
Not together. We go to different universities, but we've
Which
remained.
school?
I go to DePaul University.
Are you still there?
I'm still there, that's right.
What year are you in?
I'm a senior.
And you, sir?
I'm a senior at Purdue University.
So this is what the case is about. Some time ago, according to you, your friend, without compensation, I assume, because there was nothing about compensation in here, set up a website for you, this friend. At some point, there was an issue of cats.
Mm-hmm.
The defendant has 2 cats,
That is correct.
and he was going away on vacation, and he asked you if you would mind the 2 cats.
Yeah, that's correct.
When was that?
That was on July 26th of 2023.
Where was he going?
He was going to Hawaii, Maui, actually.
Who were you going with?
I was going with my brother and my mother.
What did you tell him you needed him to do for the 2 cats?
I told him he needed to come over to the house, feed them, just make sure they were doing fine, hang out for a few minutes, and then that's it.
How many times a day?
Once a day.
Feed them once a day, change water,
Right.
clean up the kitty litter.
That's correct.
Were they indoor, outdoor cats?
Indoor cats.
Now, before you left on vacation, did you give your friend, Mr. Deitch, the instructions on what he had to do?
Yes, Your Honor. Over text, and I have it here.
I'd like to see it.
Great. Yes.
You talk about one cat, Rooney.
Yes, Your Honor. She's the more excited one out of the two. The other one, Stella, really just doesn't need any attention.
You were asking him if he would watch Rooney. Take her out once a day. He says, feed her and clean the litter box. That's a question. And you said, yeah, it should be pretty easy. Okay. And you left on vacation. And according to your countersuit, the plaintiff was negligent. The cats got out. They were gone for a week. You were hysterical because the cats were not located for a week. But Mr. Deitch's claim is that when you came home from Hawaii and found that the cats were missing, because both cats were missing at that time. When did you come home from Hawaii?
I came home on the 14th of August. We originally planned to be back on the 8th of August, but we were stranded in Hawaii during the Maui wildfires, so we were unable to make it back until the 14th.
And when you came back, you found that both cats were missing.
That's right.
Mr. Deitch says after you found both cats were missing, you got slightly hysterical, as would most people who are cat lovers and find their animals missing, and that in retaliation for that, you did something to the website that you had created for him that when people went to it, instead of clicking on to the website, which Sarah is going to try to explain to me, instead of clicking onto the website and going to the informational portion of the website, it was redirected to a porn site. And that was done in retaliation for his negligently allowing your cats to be lost. That's your claim. Now you're going to tell me about your website. Your website is for what?
So my website is pretty much my professional self. I don't apply to a job. I really don't meet someone professionally without showing them my website. It's sort of...
Well, what is your website?
It's a portfolio site.
Would you give it to Sarah so she can bring it up?
So it's basically a site...
no, not basically. Basically is a filler word. Okay, a website has an address.
It is a website that features a little bit about me, my contact information.
Name.
Is the name of the website. I can spell it for you if necessary.
I got it. It does, in fact, come up.
Okay.
It's basically a professional work page.
Oh, okay. And
so you put it on a business card
and
so
then
people
you
can
ask,
find more
and
information.
then what do you press for it to transition you to?
Launch portfolio.
There's like a contact page, an about page with some more information, some credits.
It seems to be working correctly now.
Oh, okay. Now, your lawsuit says that somebody hacked into your web page so that when you press this informational web page about what you do, what projects you've done in the past, and they say, oh, my God, this is a nice-looking guy, looks okay, let's see what he's done, because he's applied for a job or something else. They press a button, and it took you to a porn site. So I want to see that.
I have an email from a recruiter who emailed me after she got redirected.
Well, why didn't you take photographs of what it was on the screen? That's very easy.
Okay, I mean, I have a video I could show you. It's explicit, though. I don't know.
Listen, I'm a big girl. I'm 81 years old. I've seen practically everything, although that's probably not true. They're developing new things all the time.
Ryan Deitch is accusing his former friend, Oliver Miller, of intentionally sabotaging his website. Oliver is countersuing for negligence and emotional distress, claiming Ryan lost his cats.
Okay. If you have the video, I'd like to take a look at it.
Here it is. So she'll just press that play button right there. Do you want the volume on or off?
Okay, so push the play button.
Ah, well, that's not terribly pornographic.
I would describe it as woefully inappropriate for a professional setting.
I believe that you're right. You can put that back. Now, at what point, on what day, did you first notice that?
So that was on August 24th, and I didn't even notice it on my own. Like I said, I received that email from a recruiter at a company.
Okay, can I see the email?
Yes, of course.
Okay, this woman, whoever this is, wrote to you and said, this looks like a bad joke, and I wasn't even going to reach out to you, but then I thought it would be fair to reach out to you because I'm sure you didn't know that this happened.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's what she's saying.
Yeah.
Did you answer her?
I mean, I did.
No, did you? You know where I'm going. This Bethany allegedly wrote this to you, and if I were in business looking for a job, I would immediately contact her. Did you do that?
I did, but by that point, they had already offered the job to someone else.
I don't care. I just want to see when you reached out to her.
I don't think I have that. I was over the phone. I called her.
I don't believe you.
Okay.
How's that? Goody-goody? Are we getting goody-goody? Are we getting close to what's going on? I knew it would just take me a little bit of time, guys. I knew it would just take me a little bit of time. Okay, so you don't have what would any normal business person who has set themselves up would have, which is an immediate response. Oh, Bethany, thank you. I'm so glad you directed me to this.
Yeah.
I'm going to take it down right away. Is the job still available? All of that would be here because that's the way you do it, which you don't have.
No, I don't. I mean, it was a couple days later that I was notified of that, and I called her. But like I said, the job had already been offered. There really wasn't much I could do at that point.
Nice pivot.
I
Nice
wouldn't describe
pivot.
it as that.
Nice pivot.
Okay.
Okay. Now, let us assume, for the purpose of this case, that this did in fact happen. What proof do you have that the defendant hacked into your computer and redirected it to this other site, which is clearly an inappropriate site for somebody looking for a techie job?
So he actually admitted it to me over the phone, and he is also the only one with the capability to do that. And
No, he's not the only one with the capability, sir. People can hack into the Pentagon.
That's true, but he wouldn't have to hack. He literally
Well, he wouldn't have to, but you
He
can.
controls it.
But you can. When you received this email, you didn't respond to the person who sent it. How did you communicate with him?
I called him, and I texted him as well. I was very upset.
Well, just a second. Now I'll see the text.
Okay. This is it. It's at the bottom.
I assume that you wrote him, this is serious, on August 24th. Is there any response to this?
She did not respond.
He did not respond to that. So bottom line is you really have no proof that he hacked into this. So how long did that website, let's say it was August 24th, that you noticed it, and he came home on August 14th, not finding his cats. When was it taken down?
On August 25th is when it was restored. But I assume it was put to that inappropriate site soon after he got back, maybe 10, 9.
You can't assume anything. That's a guess.
Correct. That's a guess.
That's a guess. But it was taken down August 25th and put up again August 26th.
Yeah, it was restored.
Now, what I want you to do is tell me, now we have September, October, November, December, right up past January. Just for my own information, how many jobs have you had from this website? Name, person, and how much you were paid from this website since August 26th. It can't be a lot.
Yeah, I'm a college student.
Okay, it can't be a lot,
$0.
so it has to be a handful. A handful you would remember.
0.
0. Okay, that's very good. That helps me a lot. That helps me a lot because there are no damages for this business. Okay, now we're going to go to your counterclaim.
Great.
Great, right?
Yes.
Terrific. He was negligent in taking care of your cats and they got out.
He was negligent.
I just said to you, that's a yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
And you got home and you didn't find your cats.
That's correct.
One cat came back relatively quickly.
That's correct.
Which cat?
Stella.
Because Stella's a homebody.
That's correct.
And the other one sort of enjoyed his freedom.
Yes, she enjoyed her freedom.
She enjoyed her freedom. And she was out for how long?
7 days.
And then she came home.
That's right, Your Honor.
How'd she look? Happy?
She was happy to be back, but...
Happy to be back, so she decided to come home.
That's right, Your Honor.
And you have them both now?
Yes, yes.
Good. So your counterclaim's dismissed, as is your claim, sir. You can't prove it. We're done.
Your Honor.
Thank you very much.
Your Honor.
We are finished. Finito.
May I draw
Done.
upon my witness?
No.
This court is adjourned.
I trusted a friend, and that was really my only mistake here.
He was lying the entire time. I don't know why a good friend would do that after I helped him build his website and he just tried to stab me in the back.
I'm a very forgiving person, so I hate to count it out completely, but things are not looking good for us.
You know, I think he got a bit of karma there, and I'm glad he, hopefully missed out on something, but I did not do it.
You know, I'm not so sure about that case. Let us assume that everything was as presented. The plaintiff had absolutely no damage that he could prove. He might have done that.
Sure.
You know, you lost my cats, I'm going to screw around with your webpage, and I'm absolutely certain that they are going to have dinner tomorrow night together.
I'm sure as well.
I'm sure.
Case number 3096, Corcoran versus Curry. All parties, please step forward.
Christopher Corcoran is suing his former employee, Joshua Curry, for unpaid legal fees.
Mr. Corcoran, the case is relatively simple and straightforward. It is your claim that the defendant owes you for legal fees that you paid on his behalf.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Curry says that there was never an agreement to pay you anything, and you paid legal fees for him for a criminal matter because he was such a valued employee that without him, your business couldn't function.
That's very true, Your Honor.
Okay, so that's relatively easy. How long did you work for Mr. Corcoran, Mr. Curry? From when to when?
For August of 2020 until September of 2023.
And how much did you earn?
200 to 300, depending on how long it was.
So you want to tell me when you got into some legal trouble?
It was July 5th morning, about 4 o'clock in the morning. I had heard some news from one of my friends passing away from a motorcycle wreck, and I was just a little emotional. Went on a motorcycle ride myself, and the police tried to pull me over, which I made a bad decision and didn't pull over.
Well, let's go back a second. I just want to make sure I'm hearing it right. You got some very bad news that a friend of yours had been killed in a motorcycle accident. And you were very upset about it.
Well, emotional, yes, yes.
You were upset about it, hadn't been drinking.
Nope.
No drugs.
Nope.
So at 4 o'clock in the morning, you decided to go on a motorcycle ride.
Yep.
Where did you take your motorcycle for a ride?
I was just going for a ride through Marymount.
And is that a big town or a little town?
It's a small little town outside Cincinnati.
And the police must see you because you're going to tell me what happened when the police tried to pull you over.
Well, there was like a medium from one direction to the other from the way the cop was coming. I wasn't speeding. I wasn't doing anything illegal. They busted you. He came up behind me and was trying to pull me over for what I thought for no reason.
So the police were trying to pull you over while you were riding your motorcycle?
Yes, ma'am.
And then what happened?
I was just, emotions got the best of me. I flipped the bird and just took off.
Okay.
Christopher Corcoran claims his former employee, Joshua Curry, owes for attorney fees he loaned to Joshua.
So you made a middle finger gesture.
Yes, ma'am.
And took off on your motorcycle.
That's right.
How fast did you take off?
I probably hit 100 miles an hour at some point.
So now you're driving 100 miles an hour through this small town in Ohio. Police try to pull you over. High-speed chase. They finally got you to pull over.
Yes, ma'am.
And they arrested you.
Well, they impounded my bike, and they actually took me home once they realized that I didn't do anything wrong.
Don't tell me what they realized. You can't tell me what they realized. They impounded your bike.
Yes, and they drove me home and gave me failure to comply.
So they gave you a ticket.
Well, it's a ticket, which was a misdemeanor ticket, yes.
Were you originally charged with a misdemeanor or with a felony?
I think it was a misdemeanor. It was a misdemeanor.
Let me see what you're looking at. Okay, so at some point, you got in touch with your boss.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me when that was.
Probably later on that evening, that day. And I told him I was in trouble. Yeah.
And at that point, did you ask him to do anything for you?
Not at that point, no.
At what point?
I don't really remember. It was just more or less like, we're going to handle this. You know, we'll make sure everything's okay kind of conversations.
Okay. Now I'm going to come to you, Mr. Corcoran. First of all, you have a business that is what?
It's a commercial construction. We had set up pallet racking and warehouse.
When did you start the business?
2008.
Is the business still ongoing?
Yes.
And it's still ongoing, so you've managed to keep your business even after this valued employee is gone.
Yes, Your Honor.
So I have to tell you something, Mr. Curry. The only time that you become indispensable is when the show has your name on it. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Other than that, everybody can be replaced. I say that because your defense is, because what Mr. Cochran did is he contacted a lawyer on your behalf, and that's the money he wants. And your position was you never asked him for it, you just did it. Okay, so you tell me about the conversation that you had with Mr. Cochran when he called the next day.
He called me and told me that pretty much verbatim.
Exactly what he told me.
He went to court. He called me after court. He said, I don't know what to do. He said, they told me to come back with an attorney.
So now he's going back and he said to you, this is bad. I have to go back to court. They told me to come back with a lawyer. Did you tell him that?
Well, yeah.
And you said to him?
I said, let me make a phone call. I'll get in touch with my attorney. He'll call you, get your side of it, and we'll go from there.
So you called your lawyer.
So I called my attorney. He called Mr. Curry. They spoke. He called me back. He says, Chris, this is bad. This is bad. He said, he's going to do some time on this.
And then?
He said, he said he doesn't have any money, and he told me $6,000. So I told Mr. Curry, and he says, well, I don't have that. I said, well, I'll take it out of your check, and on we went.
Is that what he said to you?
Well, that's not really how I remember the conversation, but, I mean, it was a couple years ago.
I would like you to tell me how, Mr. Curry, you remember the conversation.
Well, I just remember him saying that, I have a friend that's a lawyer. We'll take care of this. We'll get it handled.
Well, Mr. Curry, what I'm asking you is, you're not related to him. You're not his brother. You're not his cousin. You're not his son-in-law. You're an employee. If you knew about the amount of money, $6,000, why in the world would you think that he was just going to cover that for you?
I mean, he brought it up to me after the fact that it was paid. Like, I didn't have a chance to say yes or no to $6,000.
Well, you knew the lawyer wasn't working for nothing.
Well, I completely understand that. But I also thought the way that he would approach me was like, we're going to take care of this.
Okay. May I see the invoice from the attorney and a copy of your check? You have a copy of your check?
No, I paid cash.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, well,
Your Honor.
This doesn't do it for me, sir. Show me where you took $6,000 from.
Out of my safe. I mean, I keep a lot of cash on hand at the house.
Well, I'm not believing you, sir. I'm going to tell you I'm not believing you. Because there's no reason why you would pay a lawyer in cash for somebody else when the somebody else is expected to pay you back, so you have absolutely no proof that you paid anybody. You loaned somebody money to pay a lawyer. You pay that lawyer by check, and you have proof of it. There's a possibility that you did lay out some money for him, for a lawyer. I don't believe it was $6,000 because this is not a lawyer's invoice.
I can get him on the phone.
Oh, no, I'm absolutely positive that you can get somebody on the phone, sir. Unless I have proof that the amount of money that you laid out for Mr. Curry, I'm dismissing your case without prejudice. You go and plead it to somebody else. I don't buy it. We're done here.
This court is adjourned.
If you're making a loan to somebody, especially in a case like this where there was no family relation, like you said, no particular reason why the plaintiff would just out of the kindness of his heart step up and pay this bill, I would want a paper trail or 2 or 3 to ensure that they could not go back on their word to repay you for the loan that you so nicely laid out for them. And I found it almost as odd as you that he paid cash and didn't even have anything as far as a handwritten note that said, I paid this to the lawyer on this day, signed by someone. It doesn't even have to be official, but just pulling $6,000 out of your safe in cash, it's less than what we needed for his loan.
You know, what's interesting, Sarah, is I actually think he got a lawyer to go in with him on what was a ticket.
Yeah.
But certainly no lawyer would say, oh, that's very serious. He's looking at serious jail. That's baloney, unless there was another charge there. But I don't see why a lawyer would demand $6,000 in cash. It doesn't make sense to me.
And if it doesn't make sense,
it's not true.
17-year-old Donisty Muniz and her boyfriend, Javante Williams Ramos, are suing Tanya Linsenbigler and her teenage children, Diamond and Isaiah Teneo, for car damage and harassment.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Case 3120, Munez Williams Ramos versus Linsenbigler.
You're Miss Munoz, is that correct?
Yes.
This is your boyfriend.
Yes.
Your first name is?
Javante.
This used to be your friend Diamond.
Yes.
Raise your hand, Diamond. This is Diamond's mother, and that's Diamond's brother. So far, I have parties correct?
Yes.
You are the?
Stepfather.
You were involved in this?
I was there.
Yeah, I know. So this involves a whole lot of threats and posting pictures and a whole bunch of other things, but the real meat of this case is you are alleging that this young man, your name is Isaiah?
Yes.
Threw bricks at your car and damaged it.
Yes, he did.
You want to be compensated. And defamation of character because you claim that Diamond shared a video that she took of you on the internet.
It's not that she took it from me. She had gotten a video from her sister's phone that I had sent to her sister, and she had posted it on the internet.
Okay. She says she did that because you told her boyfriend that she was cheating on him or some other such teenage nonsense that I'm quite frankly not interested in. Okay. What I want to know, Javante, why are you a plaintiff?
I'm a plaintiff because I was a witness.
Well, a witness is not a plaintiff.
I used the vehicle to get to work.
Who cares? It's not your car. So you're not a plaintiff.
He paid for part of the vehicle as
I don't
well.
care. Is his name on the title? No. Sit. Now the case belongs to you. When did this incident with the car take place?
On May 5th, it began.
When did it finish?
On May 6th in the morning.
Now, you're the mother.
Yes.
What I gather is that your daughter told you that she had been working with her friend doing DoorDash.
Yes.
Stand still. And that the plaintiff had not given her any money for working with her at DoorDash.
Correct.
Did you contact her?
I did.
How did you contact her?
I have wrote her and asked her about...
Wrote her how?
Through Messenger.
Okay, so you texted her.
Yes.
Did you send any text messages to her that could be viewed as threatening?
No.
No. Okay. Do you have any text messages that she sent to you that you want to show me that could be viewed as threatening or harassing?
Yes, I do.
Well, then show me.
So I have text messages from her where she kept asking me and
Just
then...
a second. Just show them to me.
Okay. This one here.
Okay, so it's clear, Ms. Munez, that you owed her money because you don't deny that you owed her money, but you say you're not giving her any money because she disrespected me. Well, how did she disrespect you?
She disrespected me by, she was just basically telling people my business. He was going to him saying that I was cheating on him. And then she spiraled from there because I had gotten into an argument with her because of a fact that I was with her sister all the time.
Who cares? Did you owe her money? The answer is yes.
I didn't owe her any money. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I offered for her to come out with me, door dashing, and she agreed to it. When I took her out, I had bought her food and stuff, and all the money I made that day went straight to gas that I had to put in the car from doing those orders. I didn't make much. I told her in the beginning if I made anything, and I was gonna give it to her out of the kindness of my heart. That's what I do.
Did she get out of the car to either pick up or deliver any items?
Yes, she came out with
You drove. She got out and either picked up or delivered the items. That's a yes.
Yes.
Then you owed her money. Okay, that's not part of this complaint, but I'm just getting the characters.
Yeah.
Okay, a mother says the disrespect has nothing to do with what she earned. You consider that harassment? No way.
It's just...
I'm just telling you, from a legal perspective, that is not harassment. Okay. Case against you is dismissed. You may be seated.
Okay, thank you.
Now I would like you to tell me what your case is against Diamond.
Diamond was threatening me the whole day. She wanted to fight me. She continued sending me text messages, as well as when...
Show me the text messages.
So this is where it began, where she first started talking. And then this one. I have
Who's Star?
her sister.
The one I was friends with.
Who cares? Nonsense. Anything else with regard to Diamond? That's you.
So after they had damaged my car, she ended up posting a photo of me on the internet.
Okay.
And sending out my number and my address.
There's no allegation that she damaged your car. That was all?
That was him.
Isaiah?
Yes.
Okay. So let me see what you claim. And this is the final harassment.
No. I have more evidence of the harassment.
Okay, so let me see the next piece of evidence that you allege is harassment. This is all
That's the
teenage nonsense stuff. Okay, so what did you post?
Her in her lingerie.
Her in her lingerie?
That she already posted herself.
That's not true, Your Honor.
Okay,
I didn't post it.
So let me, just a second. Let me see the photograph that she posted of you.
I do have one from the screenshot of someone that had texted me from her sending out my number with the picture.
Did you put her phone number in the
No, I didn't.
Do you have those posts that you made from your phone? Did you make them from your phone?
She actually sent them to someone and they sent it to me.
Who sent it to you?
She sent them to someone.
Just a second. Name! If they sent it to you, I need the name.
My sister's ex-boyfriend.
What's his name?
I don't know his name like that.
You're a witness. Stand up. What's your other daughter's name?
Star.
What's her boyfriend's, ex-boyfriend's name?
I don't know his name personally, but I know who she's talking about because she did send a picture over to him.
Who sent a picture over to whom?
Dynasty has sent a picture to him.
To the boyfriend?
Yes.
What's his name?
I don't know who he is. I didn't send the
Just
photo
a second.
over.
Who took the picture of you?
I did. I sent it to her sister.
Just a second. You took a picture of yourself
Yes.
in lingerie, and you disseminated it to her sister.
Yes, because me and her sister would send things like that back and
what
forth.
the why is?
She posted the video, which
17-year-old Dynasty Muniz and her boyfriend, Javante Williams Ramos, claimed Tanya Linsenbigler and her teenage children, Diamond and Isaiah Teneo, damaged her car and posted inappropriate photos of Dynasty online.
So when you're dumb and you take a picture that you don't want on the front page of the New York Times, put it in your safe, and then if somebody steals it out of your safe, that's malicious. You send it to somebody else. You published it. You sent that to her sister. And what her sister did was her sister showed it to her boyfriend. Do you understand?
I do.
Good.
I do now. I'm not friends with them anymore
Good.
because of it.
So we're finished with you. You can step back again. What else do you have against her, do you think?
It's the text messages that I'm receiving from random people. Nobody has my number, and they have the picture that she had posted, too. So you're telling me she didn't get the number or anything? She didn't hand out the number, and somebody just has the video?
Just a second. I don't know
No, I know.
if you have proof that she put your number.
Yes, I had submitted a video from Snapchat that she had posted at the time. I can pull it out on my phone if you want it.
Well, put it out on your phone. Did you send this out on Snapchat?
No, I posted it on Snapchat.
Just a second. So the answer is you posted it to be nasty.
No, it wasn't. She already posted herself in it.
Just a second. Did you post it with her phone number on it?
No.
No.
Never did with her phone number. Just was her.
Okay, so I want you to watch it. Make sure you watch it carefully.
Here.
Oh, would you show this to Miss Diamond in the Rough, please? Want to read that you posted? Read it. Can you read?
It says, just waiting on you, say no more, you know how I do.
Who do you think posted that?
I posted the picture, the video. She's the one that sent that to the boy through her phone. Because her and my sister was trying to see if he was loyal.
You following that?
Yes, I'm following.
Okay.
So the friend, sister,
Star.
they came up with a little plan to test the boyfriend's loyalty. Have her send a picture to said boyfriend to see how said boyfriend responds to her picture/video.
Oh my God. Yeah, she's not swift enough to make up that story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. You can step away from your brother. You're no longer a defendant
Your
in this
Honor,
action.
she posted the video, which had other people texting me as
I
well.
don't care. Don't take pictures that you don't want to see on the front page of the New York Times and then send them to somebody.
I didn't send them. Her sister sent them.
I understand that. You sent them to her sister, your friend Star. Is that correct? Is that correct?
Yes, but that didn't mean that she had to keep harassing
She
me
didn't
about it.
have to.
But why?
Just not everything is
Okay.
a lawsuit, madam. What I'm telling you is, if you had taken the video, put it in the safe, and she stole it out of the safe, you have a case. You published the video by sending it to somebody else. That somebody else showed it to their boyfriend or showed it to 20 other people. Do you understand?
I do, but what I'm not understanding is how you're just dismissing her with her posting that, as well as posting a picture after it with me and my daughter. Like, my video did not have my face on it. As you could see, it was blurred out. I had it covered, so nobody could have told it was me.
It got more stupid. It just got more stupid. Well, now let's get to what this case is about, which is damage to the car. You, on the 6th of May, you went over to a place where she was with your sister. Not with her.
No.
With whom?
By myself.
You went by yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
What did you go there for?
Because I had called my sister, see what was going on, and she started with me, so we started something. She told me to come to her house. And she
Who
had
told
people,
you to come to her
My
house?
sister, Star.
Your sister Star?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, the other one, the one with the boyfriend, with your old friend. Okay. So your sister Star told you to come to whose house?
Her house.
How old is she?
19.
She doesn't live home.
No.
You live home with Diamond?
Yes.
So your sister Star told you to come over to her house, and?
We were arguing back and forth on the phone. She had told me to come over to her house.
Why were you arguing with your sister?
Because of some situation that happened between...
What situation that happened?
I don't know what situation it was, but I called her, and me and her started arguing on the phone.
What were you arguing with your sister about?
I don't know what it was about. I don't know the situation.
Oh, did you go over to your sister's house?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that where Miss Munez was? At your sister Star's house? And now you have 2 geniuses. You have any other children?
Yeah.
Also geniuses?
Yeah.
Okie dokie. So now you go to your sister Star's house, and the plaintiff is hanging out with your sister. And out front of the house, there starts to be a back and forth. You're shouting up the window, they're shouting back at you. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what are you shouting and what are they shouting?
Splurs, like different things.
Are you telling somebody to come down? They're telling you to come up?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. When did Diamond show up?
Like a couple minutes later.
Okay. And when did your stepfather show up?
After he heard that I was there.
That's not true.
Just a... Shh. Stand up. You're the stepfather, your last name is?
Aponte.
Mr. Ponte, who told you that your stepson, the genius, was over at your stepdaughter Star's house?
My wife did.
When you got there, what did you see?
I seen
When you got there, be careful. When you got there, what did you see?
I seen a lot of arguing.
Between whom and where were they located?
My son was outside of the house, and they was out the window.
And they were at the window, so
Yeah.
you heard back and forth and back and forth.
Yes.
Okay, and then what happened, sir?
And
look at me.
After they was arguing.
After they were arguing, yes.
I was surveillance the whole time. That's
No,
why.
you were watching?
Yes,
You
that's
were
why they
standing-
don't know I was there.
Just a second. You know this is not going to come out well. I just want you to understand it's not going to come out well. So
17-year-old Dynasty Munez and her boyfriend, Javante Williams Ramos, have accused Tanya Linsenbigler and her teenage children, Diamond and Isaiah Teneo, of damaging her car and harassing her online.
So you were standing there and watching
Yes.
and listening to them arguing back and forth,
Yes.
right? And what happened next? Did you leave? Did he leave? Did they close the window? What happened next, sir?
They just kept arguing.
Well,
And it
there's
was-
not still arguing today, sir. Now we're in a court. At some point, they stopped arguing, and somebody left. Either you left and he left, or they left the house.
No, my kids left.
at some point, your kids left.
Yes,
And you stayed.
I stayed.
Now, you want to tell me, why did you stay?
I stayed because...
Something that this seasoned face believes, sir. If you went there at the request of your wife, because she was afraid there was going to be trouble, and your stepchildren took themselves out of the situation with arguing and yelling and screaming, they're at the window, they're outside, you're going to give me a reason why you stayed.
I stayed because I heard the cops coming.
Oh. So that your stepchildren left the premises before the police arrived.
Yes.
It gets better. Now you can sit. Is your claim that he threw rocks at your car and damaged it?
Yes.
Who saw that?
He did, from the back window.
Now you're a witness.
I saw Isaiah out front of the house threatening Dynasty, and then while he was threatening Dynasty, he was trying to break the door. And while he was trying to break the door, another car pulled up in front of the house. And that's when Diamond and more people came out the vehicle.
And then?
And then I saw Isaiah go to the back where the vehicle is parked. And I saw him
The car that you use with her, but it's her car. Yes.
I saw him going to the back and throw bricks at the vehicle.
That's when I called.
Did you say anything to him?
No, we called the cops.
That's when you called the police.
I called them right when I saw him going to the back because of those, and then I heard my car sirens go off, and they heard it in the background as well.
And that's why he stayed.
Well, he showed up
Just a second.
afterwards. He wasn't there. We didn't see him.
I don't care whether, whether he did, and I don't believe a word he says. He stayed and spoke to the police. He was the adult, allegedly, who stayed and spoke to the police. And I assume you told the police that your son didn't do anything.
There was other people
Just
there.
a second. I assume you told the police your son didn't do anything.
Because it wasn't him.
Okay, good. Can I see pictures of your car, please?
Yes. These are all the damages. I also have the police report if you want.
And I'd like to see the police report. Ooh. Nasty. So, Diamond, you showed up later with a group of friends, right?
No, they were my siblings.
I don't care who they were, a group of your siblings.
Yes.
How many siblings do you have?
I have 8. 7.
And how many did you show up with?
I showed up with 4 of them.
They came in as
Well,
they was already there.
clearly the plaintiff's car was damaged, and clearly it was damaged by something sharp that day. I have a witness that says it was damaged with bricks, and I see a picture of broken bricks. So if it wasn't your brother who threw the bricks, as he said, which one of your siblings was it? Look at me. If it wasn't your brother who caused damage to her car, and you showed up with your other siblings, give me the name of your other sibling who damaged the car.
It was actually my brother's friend that did it.
Oh, well, that's fine. Then your brother. How old are you?
15.
Very good. You, the mother, I'm making a judgment against him and you're involved in that judgment. If you think that somebody else was responsible, sue them. Do you understand? Yes. I don't believe a word that comes out of her mouth. Neither should you, by the way. Neither should you.
I believe that point because when all that was going on, he was outside screaming at them while her ex-boyfriend went in the back and did what he did. Her ex-boyfriend disappeared, and now he's not even in the city. He took off.
Okay.
Not true.
And she knew, Dynasty knew who was all there.
Just a second. You, unless I heard wrong, weren't there.
No, but I was told, my daughter had told me because I
don't care what your daughters tell you, madam. Your daughters need a little more parenting.
Yeah, well, she does too.
Your daughter, both the star and clearly this one, need a little more parenting. I don't know about this one, but it sounds to me as if this one could use a little more parenting too.
Your Honor.
Can I see the...
Can I speak about that?
I'm finished with this case. Can I please see the bill to fix your car?
I think you have the bill over there.
$3,339. Judgment for the plaintiff. We're done. Thank you very much.
This court is adjourned.
My son did not do it. She just wanted to put the allegation on somebody because she couldn't afford her own car.
They were angry at the fact that I was friends with her sister.
She caused this drama.
I witnessed him breaking and damaging the vehicle.
I forgot everything about the day, to be honest.
I've been parted ways since they did all of this.
Pick wisely who you hang out with and who you speak to.
I just realized that I was being used all the way around, you know?
The least believable thing of that entire story, and there's a lot of back and forth, a lot of details, but the stepfather. I know that if my dad pulled up in his car on me, screaming, causing mayhem and a fight and an argument back and forth, he'd say, get in the car. What are you doing? Have you lost your mind? Let's go. And would leave. He wouldn't say that he was hiding in the bushes, surveillancing the situation to see how it was going to unfold. That's crazy. You say, get in the car. What the heck are you doing? You're 15 years old. What are you out here screaming in the street for? So.
A lot more parenting.
Yeah, a lot more for all 8 of them.
Right.
Case 3129, Pike versus Smith. All parties, please come forward.
Mason Pike is suing his former friend, Adrice Smith, for a Beyonce concert ticket and travel costs.
Mr. Pike, Mr. Smith is a friend of yours, I'm not sure.
Yes, ma'am.
And it is your claim that he owes you for a concert ticket.
Yes.
The concert ticket was to see Beyonce.
Yes, ma'am.
And some travel-related expenses.
Yes.
I'm not sure about his defense, but it sort of sounds to me as if he's saying, well, he was going to pay you when his friend straightened up, but his friend never straightened up. Got that right?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so let's start out with when and why the concert.
When the concert was on September 27th, that was in New Orleans. That's the one we ended up going to. Why would be because I went to the concert in Atlanta with one of my friends, Jamie, and Drew was supposed to go as well, but he wasn't able to. And we got cheap tickets in Atlanta. We were way up in the rafters, $50 tickets. And I thought that would be good enough, but after I saw the show, I was like, this is amazing. Gotta go on the floor seats. So then that's when he had mentioned that he was...
Mr. Smith.
Mr. Smith had...
How long have the two of you been friends?
Maybe 3 or 4 years-ish.
You do business together? What kind of work do you do?
I work in film myself, in location department in Atlanta.
And what about you, sir?
I do insurance.
Okay, go ahead.
So then he told me that he was already going to the New Orleans concert, that maybe we could go together. So I thought that would be a great idea, you know, let's do that.
So far, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And then on the, let's see, on the 22nd, so just a few days prior, he told me that he still...
Look at me, don't read.
Sorry. He told me that he didn't have his money still. So, like,
I didn't hear any conversation about money. Mr. Pike, you skipped over a whole big thing. You testified earlier that you were waiting for some money.
Yes.
You were waiting for some money from what source?
A very close friend of mine, he is a...
Careful. Careful. Let's go.
Mason Pike claims his former friend, Adrice Smith, owes for a Beyonce concert ticket and travel costs.
He said he was going to the concert. You mean he was going to the concert, but he didn't have a ticket?
That's what he said on the
look
22nd.
At me. You're missing a step, Mr. Pike.
Yes.
Don't look at your notes.
Sorry.
You should know it because it's the truth, right? If you're telling the truth, you don't have to have a good memory.
Yes.
You don't need crib notes when you're coming here.
You're right. Correct.
Okay. So you wanted floor seats to the Beyonce concert, which was going to take place in New Orleans.
Yes.
You mentioned it to your friend. He said, I'm going to that concert.
Correct.
And you said to him, what?
On the 22nd, I just reached out. I was like, are you still going? What's the situation on that? And he said that whatever funds he was using for that had not come in yet, that he was expecting them by now, but he didn't have them. So that led me to believe they should be sometime
No,
soon.
don't let you to believe.
Right. That was my
So
mistake.
did you have your ticket already?
Not yet. Not yet.
So on the 22nd, just a few days before the concert, neither of you had tickets.
Correct.
And you were looking to get floor seats?
Correct.
Can you do that for a Beyonce concert?
You can, but they're going to be pretty pricey, which is why the ticket is so pricey, because we waited to the last minute to get it, like hours before.
Why did you wait till the last minute? You were going with or without him?
We were both hoping that maybe they would be cheaper on the day, but it turned out to be the opposite. So just a bad call.
Okay, so you both knew that you were waiting until sort of the last few days to see if the prices fluctuated.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And when they hadn't, you tell me about the conversation that you had with him on the 22nd of September?
So Mason had hit me up, and he asked me, was I still going to the concert? I said to him that the money that I was expecting to come had not come yet, and so I said, I don't know when it's going to come. I don't have it now. So I said that I wasn't going to go because I didn't want to put myself in that type of circumstances. And he, at that moment, insisted that he still wanted me to go to the concert. And he felt like that I shouldn't miss out. And then his response was, I will take care of the tickets, and then you can pay me back when you can.
Okay, I'll take care of the tickets, and you can pay me back when you can.
Yes, and then my response to that was, "Oh, that's sweet," as in, like, what a sweet gesture for you to say that. After that comment of, "Oh, that's sweet," he had messaged me a few days, and then we just started talking about the arrangements. I never officially agreed to pay him back.
Don't editorialize what you did or did not do. So far, you said, I'll pay you back when I can.
Right.
That's what you said, right?
Well, I said, "Oh, that's sweet," but yes.
No, I don't care. That's superfluous to the lawsuit.
Right.
Right?
Well, then yes, I said, "I'll pay you back when I can."
Okay. Where do you live, Mr. Smith?
In Atlanta.
Who do you live with?
Myself.
You have an apartment?
Yes, ma'am.
How much rent do you pay?
It's $17.65, and it comes to about $18.
Just a second, $17.65. Where do you work?
I work for State Farm
How long have you worked for State Farm?
since October of last year. Not last year, the year before last year.
October of 2022.
Yes.
And how much was your gross salary last year on your taxes?
Last year it was 42 and change.
And you have to file taxes again this year. Approximately how much are you earning this year?
This year it was 44 and
So you earn more this year.
Yes.
Now, when you said to him, I don't have the money right now, but I'll take it, that's great, and I'll pay you back when I can.
Yes.
What was the I can? Because I think you testified earlier that you were waiting for some money.
Yes.
You were waiting for some money from what source?
A very close friend of mine, he is
Careful. Let's go.
So he is a friend of mine that we're close, but he also gives me money sometimes and buys me things and gifts and whatnot. So his intention was to take me to the Atlanta show for Beyonce, but he was waiting for a check from the VA because he used to be in the Army. And that check did not come at the time for the Atlanta show. So his intention was, he said, well, if your friend gives you the tickets, then I will send you the money to pay him back once his VA funds come.
But you had the money, sir. As a matter of fact, you made more money this year than last year. How old are you?
I'm 26.
26, you work full-time, you work for a big corporation, you've been working there for several years. There's no reason why somebody else has to buy you a ticket, sir. You made more money this year than you did the year before that, and these tickets were what, $1,000?
Yes, ma'am, roughly.
You pay for your own ticket or just don't go.
Well, I wasn't going to go. My bills to income ratio is not ideal for me to spend $1,300 on a concert, which is why I told Mason that I wasn't going to go because I couldn't afford it.
Okay, let me hear your version of what he told you, please.
He agreed to go, and then on the day when we bought the tickets on the 27th, I have text messages.
27th is when you bought?
September 27th, just hours before the concert, really. I have text messages where I told him, I said, you know, I only see seats for $1,200. Is that okay? And he said, let's do that. I do have those messages.
May I see that, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, he says to you, you headed back. We should probably figure out tickets soon. The cheapest floor seat I see is $1,200. That's what he said to you. And then you say, let's do that then. I'm waiting for my Uber.
I had intentions. I mean, my intentions were to pay him back, but it's just...
Great. That's why you're here, so that you can make good on your intentions, sir. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,200. We're finished. Thank you very much.
This court is adjourned.
If I'm telling you I don't have the money, before you even buy the ticket, why would you still buy it?
He just said that he was waiting on funds, and I never knew what those funds were until today.
I mean, I guess I don't blame him, but he very much so wanted my attention.
I was getting very cold responses, like almost like I was bothering him about the money, and I was just like, this doesn't feel right. Maybe I should look into getting a judgment just in case he doesn't pay on it.
He showed his true colors, and honestly, it's fine.
No free rides. I'll probably think twice on the next person I take, for sure.
I find it irresponsible on his part, and I just think that Mason is a scummy person.
How much did you pay, the most you ever paid for a concert ticket?
I think it was recently, about $1,000 for my sister and I to go see Drake at Madison Square Garden.
So that's for two tickets?
For two.
That's
$1,200 would be a bit tough to spend on one ticket.
Well, that's a lot of money, but I know a lot of people do that, and I understand that Beyonce puts on one fabulous concert.
I have not been lucky enough to see it, but hopefully, you know, on the next one, I'll catch her.
Next go around. Well, I'm sure they had a good time.
I'm sure they did.
Lisa Proctor is suing her cousin, Anita Lewis, for hotel costs, phone bills, and an assault.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Case 3160, Proctor versus Lewis.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Miss Proctor, how are the two of you related? You're cousins?
Yes, Your Honor. we're
How cousins? First cousins?
First cousins. She's on my dad's side.
And you and some friends were planning a trip to Dubai.
Actually, it was my cousin's girlfriend's 60th birthday celebration in Dubai.
It's a long way.
Yes, 14 hours.
And you invited Miss Lewis to join you.
Yes, I did.
On the trip?
Yes.
Tell me why.
They had an extra seat, and I asked her, and she said yes.
Okay. And you went to Dubai when?
December 28th, we left.
When were you supposed to return?
January 4th.
That's a long trip for a few days.
Yes.
It is your claim that while there and while intoxicated, the defendant assaulted you.
Yes, Your Honor.
The two of you were sharing a room. As a result of that assault, you felt uncomfortable about staying in the room with her. You got another room.
Yes.
You want her to compensate you for those expenses.
Yes.
The defendant says you're making a mountain out of a molehill, that it never happened. She was arrested in a foreign country. You made a false police report.
That's not true, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
And she has a counterclaim. I don't quite understand what the counterclaim is. I've read it, but I don't understand it. You'll tell me about it. When you left on December 28th or December 29th?
28th.
The two of you were sharing a room?
Yes.
And I want you to tell me approximately what time did you check into the room? Do you remember on the 28th? Was it the 28th or the 29th?
It was the 29th around 3 p.m. in Dubai's time.
And you were going out that evening?
Yes.
Had you been drinking?
I had 2 beers.
The answer is yes.
Yes.
Had you been drinking?
Yes, we all had been drinking.
So everybody was drinking?
Yes.
Had you started drinking on the plane?
Yes, we had drinks on the plane. Yes.
Had you started drinking on the plane?
Yes.
Did anybody bring alcohol with them to the hotel?
Yes, we did, Your Honor.
What did you bring with you to the hotel?
I had vodka.
And what did you bring with you to the hotel?
I had beer and a bottle of vodka.
Now, why don't you tell me about the events of the 29th?
So when we landed in Dubai, and checked into the hotel room. Everything was fine. So later that evening, we were going on a yacht party.
What time?
White. It was 9 o'clock.
And during the afternoon, it would be a fair statement that everybody was in a festive mood, and there were a couple of more drinks that you had.
Not really. We were really tired because it was a 14-hour flight. I know I didn't have a drink in the hotel at all.
Did you?
I had 2 beers in my room.
Before you left to go on the yacht trip?
Yes.
Okay, let's.
So we proceeded to go on the trip. Everybody was excited about going on the yacht trip. It was our first night there. It was beautiful. We were having a good time. They had drinks, but some people just drank more than others. We were all up front taking pictures and everything, and what had happened was I saw Michelle, when I proceeded to go to the back of the yacht, I saw Michelle. I didn't get up too much because, it was wobbling around. So I saw her dancing, gyrating on the floor and everything like that. So next thing I know, I went back to the front of the yacht, and the man handed me her purse. He was on the yacht with his son, and he handed me her purse. I was like, oh, what's going on? So next thing I know...
Just a second. Did you know how he came into possession of her purse?
I have no
idea. So he handed you her purse?
Yes.
What did you do with her purse?
I gave it to her. She had a purse.
Oh, you gave it?
She had a purse.
Okay, so you gave it back to her?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Keep going.
So then after that, we proceeded to go home. So when the limo driver picked us up to take us back to the hotel room, she was irate and belligerent, and we already knew you can't be loud in that country, you can't curse and things of that sort, because as soon as you land in the airport, it's quiet, and they tell you that. So she was in a limo yelling and screaming. I was like, Michelle, calm down. He was like, you don't tell me what to do. I was like, I had enough. So then when we got to the hotel room, I was just tired of her being loud and belligerent. So I just went to my room, put my robe on, and ordered a meal. After I ordered the meal, she came into the room, and she just lunged at me like this, and she scratched my face. And I was like, I thought I was dreaming. I was like, hold up. She scratched my face. I grabbed her arms, because I didn't want to get loud. I didn't want to fight over there, and I threw her on the bed. Once I threw on the bed, I didn't say anything. I threw my clothes on quickly, and next thing you know, she was taunting me, calling me names and stuff, saying I was dirty, ugly, and everything like that. So she left out the room.
Okay.
So then I proceeded to go. I didn't talk to her at all. I went to the front desk. I called my cousin, and then I started to break down upset. So the concierge asked me, did I want to call the police? I told him I needed another room. I didn't feel safe staying with my cousin, and I felt as though like I was battered. You know, I didn't feel safe at all.
Okay. And?
So then after that, he called the police. I'm sorry, he called the police. I called my cousin, she didn't answer. So I was in the hotel lobby talking to the concierge. And then later on, she came down to the concierge's office.
Where you were?
Yes.
Okay. And?
And after that, the police were called. She saw the scratches on my face. Michelle came down somehow or another, and that's where I would like her to speak to let you know what happened.
So what she's going to testify to is that she saw scratches on your face.
Yes.
I assume you took a picture of that.
No, I did not. No, I did not. Because it was all new to me. No, I did not.
Well, that's sort of silly.
The Proctor claims her cousin, Anita Lewis, owes for hotel costs, phone bills, and an assault during a trip to Dubai. Anita is countersuing Lisa for filing a false police report.
Other than your cousin's testimony, is there any police report or anything else?
Well, I did. The police was called. I
Do you
have
have-
paper from, this is from recovery when I called the hotel.
Thank you. Okay, this is from the hotel. It says, allow me to inform you that I witnessed the incident, was the one who called the police as per your request. Well, he didn't, this person did not witness the incident.
No, he did not.
Okay.
He just called the police.
Okay, well, so that the police were called.
Yes.
Okay, and you have no photographs or anything else of this scratch on your face?
Pictures. No, I did not, Your Honor.
When you did not go back to the room that she was in, you were given another room?
Yes.
With whom?
By myself.
Were you charged for that room?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me see. Did you sleep in your room alone the remainder of the trip?
I did.
Did you pay for it?
I did.
How much did you pay for your room?
I'm not sure about the total room charges. I just paid the total $4,900 for the trip, and the hotel was included.
Okay. Reimbursement of hotel room charges and phone bills, money owed for an assault. Okay. Now, I want you to clearly tell me about the assault.
I was sitting on the bed in a robe. I came upstairs to relax, and I sat on the edge of the bed. And when she came in real angry and just out of nowhere, and I thought I was dreaming or something. And she just lunged at me and scratched my face, and I just grabbed her arms and threw her on the bed.
So would you say, Miss Proctor, that the most horrendous thing that happened on this trip, not your phone bills, not anything else, was that you were scratched in the face?
Not only that, I felt threatened by her. I didn't want to stay in a room with her.
No, I understand that. What I don't understand is if you were going to pursue an action against her and you had your cousin there, you had other women there, you have your phone, it would seem to me that you would take a picture of your face to demonstrate to whomever that you had an injury.
That was true. That's true.
That's true.
Yeah, and one of the girls suggested I do it, and I didn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's problematic. Yeah. I need some proof from you, and this doesn't do it for me. Let us assume that I believe that the defendant was drunk and belligerent. And in the course of being drunk and belligerent there was something over a phone, who had her phone. That's what the papers say, correct?
Yes.
And in the course of this kerfuffle, you got hurt. Did you seek medical treatment for this scratch?
No, I did not.
Did you and Miss Lewis proceed on the trip together other than staying together in the same room? Did you travel together for the remainder of your 5 days in Dubai?
She was on excursion.
That's what I'm asking you.
But I stayed away from her.
Stand up, please. Tell me your name.
Claudette Walls.
Do you remember the first night that you were in Dubai?
Yes, I do.
Tell me what happened.
Okay, so after we were coming back from off at the cruise ship, I witnessed the similar situation with Michelle, how she was dancing and how she was in a lot of men's faces, just being belligerent, and she was drunk. I told her, she needs to calm down, just cool it. So coming back, when we got back to the hotel, My cousin Lisa went her separate way. I'm not sure where Michelle went. I went to my room with my roommate. I took a shower. While I was in the shower, my cousin Lisa had called, so I missed that call. Then I came out. Michelle had called me.
That's Michelle?
Yes, had called me to tell me that, and she was upset, and to tell me that Lisa is going to file charges against her.
Tell me exactly what she said to you.
She said, Claudette, Lisa's going to get me arrested. So I didn't know what she was talking about. She was all over the place. I said, get you arrested for what? I don't know, but you need to come down here because I don't know what's going on. She's going to get me arrested. I said, Michelle, I don't know what's going on. So in turn, I hung up from her because I had to get dressed because Lisa had called me back and she told me she was at the concierge desk and she was talking to them. And I said, okay, I'm on my way down there. When I came out, as I came out the elevator, Miss Lewis had met me and was telling me that Miss Proctor had took her phone and she was just saying all this stuff like, I know Lisa took my phone. I know she probably threw it in the water and I know she don't like me and blah, blah. I mean, it's just all over the place. And I kept saying, Michelle, do you hear yourself? Why would she invite you on a trip if she didn't like you? Do you hear yourself? I said, furthermore, maybe you left your phone. So, of course, that's what the outcome of them is. She forgot her phone on a boat. Then I proceeded to go meet my cousin at the concierge desk. The first thing I noticed is she had scratches on her nose leading up under her eye. She had one here and in the middle of her chin.
Did you ask her how she had
Yes, I did, and she told me what happened. She was in her robe. She had undressed with her robe when she had placed an order from Chicken Quesadillas. She was sitting on the edge of the bed. All of a sudden, Michelle came in the room, and she just was, like, belligerent and fussing and everything, and then she just stormed at her and attacked her in her face. And then she told me that then she started saying all these crazy things about you crazy, you stink, you ugly, and I got better clothes than you, and all and just crazy stuff. So then my cousin said, you know what? I'm not going to fight her. Well, she told me she had grabbed her by her wrist and threw her back on the bed. And then from there, she proceeded on packing her clothes. She got dressed and packing everything because she said she was scared and she couldn't stay there in the room with her anymore.
Okay, let's hear your version. Do you remember what happened?
I absolutely do.
It would be a fair statement that you had a sufficient amount of alcohol that night on the boat.
Your Honor, on the boat, I had 2 beers and 1 drink. So when we went on the yacht, I left to go to the bathroom. There was a line. When I came back upstairs, Lisa was telling me, we have to get off the boat. We have to get off the boat right now. So I knew that I had left my sweater and my phone sitting on the little couch. I had my purse on me, so I don't know what she's speaking about the purse.
I don't understand a word you're saying, by the way.
I had my purse on me.
No, I don't understand where we're at. So the plaintiff did.
Lisa Proctor is accusing her cousin, Anita Lewis, of owing for a new hotel room after Anita assaulted her in Dubai. Anita is countersuing, claiming Lisa filed a false police report.
Okay, you got on the boat, you went to the bathroom.
Yes, we were on the boat. We were on the boat for a while.
What time? Okay, so now you're on the boat for a while. How long was it away? You get on the boat, the boat leaves the dock.
4 hours.
So you had been on the boat for 4 hours. Mm-hmm. And what you're telling me is in that 4 hours, you had 2 beers and 1 drink.
Yes.
Okay, and then?
I was dancing, so then I went to the bathroom. Okay. When I came back up, Lisa told me that we had to get off the boat. Mm-hmm.
So you have to leave the boat.
In the van on the way back, they had told me, when Lisa told me, let's get off the boat, I was like, I need to go get my stuff. So, meaning my sweater and my phone. They said that they had my stuff. They had my sweater. So when we got on the van to take us back, I was like, can I get my phone? So they were like, nobody has your phone. Does anybody have your phone? So Claudette tried to call my phone. My phone didn't ring, so I'm assuming, like, okay, so...
Can we get back to the hotel, please?
When we get to the hotel, we go to the room, and I'm asking Lisa to call, can she call the trip guide so that I can get the information to the pier so I could get my phone. She was the one yelling at me no, and I couldn't use her phone, so I was standing facing the door. Lisa was standing towards me. Lisa lunged towards me, and I had on the same style nails. I held my hand up. I said, don't get up in my face. And at that point, my nail poked her. She started screaming, she's attacking me. I ran out the room, ran down the hallway, And I proceeded to go to the concierge myself to ask him, since I could not use her phone, I was going to ask the concierge to call the travel agent.
Where was your phone?
My phone had got left on the boat.
And you got your phone?
And I got my phone back.
Right. So the plaintiff didn't have your phone. The answer is no.
No.
And the witness didn't have your phone.
No.
You left your phone on the boat.
The phone got left on the boat.
You left your phone on the boat.
Yes.
Have you ever had any arguments or any issues with Claudette?
Never.
Never. Did you know her before the trip?
Yes.
If I were to ask Claudette whether or not she saw any scratch marks on Miss Proctor's face, what do you think she would say?
She's going to...
No, look at me.
Say yes, but I have pictures of her from days after.
1 day, 2 days after this
Yes.
incident, that I'm anxious to see them.
I have the pictures
I want to
in
see
my
it on your phone.
Okay, so that was
After.
New Year's Eve.
That was New Year's Eve, so this happened on the 28th?
The 29th.
So you're talking about 2 days later?
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to see it.
And even days after that, I have pictures of her.
Okay. Now, would you please ask the plaintiff to show me in this picture where the scratches are on her face?
You're not going to be able to see in this picture because this was days later and it's foggy. They were light scratches.
So you can't see it?
No, no.
And you had an opportunity to take
Yes, I
pictures
did, Your
that
Honor.
day so that you would preserve this action
Yes.
in the event that you wanted to sue her for that assault. And you chose not to do that. You had your cell phone?
Yes, I did.
Which has photographic capacity.
Yes.
You did not take a picture of her face.
No, I didn't.
Right. So the only thing that I have is the plaintiff telling me that she was scratched. And the only photograph that I have does not display any scratch on her face. Would that be a fair statement?
Yes, that's fair.
Okie dokie. I'm not going to award you any money for that if she scratched your face. Certainly, if I had evidence of that, that I would entertain. I have no evidence of that. And you had the ability to preserve that evidence. You chose not to do it. You could have done it in a mirror. And your witness chose not to do that, to take a photograph of you. Okay. You have a counterclaim.
Yes.
And your counterclaim is for filing a false report.
Yes.
She says you scratched her in the face.
And I didn't scratch her.
Well, I don't know whether you did or you didn't. The fact that the police came and the fact that I have something that there was an incident at the hotel, and I have this from the hotel, I can't find that she did something to you maliciously. That's not harassment and filing a false police report. She says that you attacked her and that you were drunk.
And when they realized that she wasn't telling the truth, that's when they left. If they had thought in Dubai that I had assaulted her, I would have been locked up.
No, that's not what the report says, actually. The report says that they declined to open a case. That doesn't say you didn't do it.
I never
Okay, your
attacked-
counterclaim is dismissed. It has no merit whatsoever. The only thing that I have to consider is whether or not these charges for your hotel room were reasonable charges in addition to what you already paid, and whether or not, because of her conduct, you absorbed $2,673 in hotel room
Your Honor,
over and above, just a second, over and above what you had already paid.
Exactly.
Do you have anything whatsoever, Miss Lewis, to tell me that contradicts that statement? You can sit down. Do you have any proof that she did not pay an additional $2,600?
No, I don't know what she did after.
Very good. Okay. I'm satisfied that there was a kerfuffle, and I'm satisfied that you were drunk, and I'm satisfied that as a result of that, she had to absorb $2,673 for an additional hotel room. Judgment for the plaintiff. We're finished. Thank you very much.
Your Honor.
This court is adjourned.
I don't think it's fair.
I want my money back for getting a room, so I'm happy with that.
Their whole story they corroborated was a lie together.
She lied about everything. She lied about attacking me. She lied about the police. And the only reason why I didn't press charges is because I didn't want her locked up in the Dubai. She may have still been there now.
I wish Judge Judy would have understood that they weren't telling the truth.
Some people just can't hold their liquor. Thank you, Judge Judy.
You know what I'm not understanding? I understand girls' trips away. I don't understand taking a 14-hour plane ride one way and drinking to the extent that you're not able to absorb all this wonderful new stuff around you that you will probably never see again.
Yeah.
It just sounds ludicrous. I mean, you want to drink? Great.
Stay home.
Stay home, go to a local bar, go away for a weekend, take a half-hour truck. But to travel 28 hours, spend a fortune on plane tickets, stay in a nice hotel, and proceed to get so buzzed that you do things that are probably so out of character for you. It's just, to me, I don't understand it.
Especially in a place where you don't know the customs, the rules, the decorum of the place that you're visiting could really land you in some trouble.
Could have landed her in a lot of trouble. She would not have liked the jail in Dubai.
yeah.
Guaranteed. Anyway, I don't understand going to a foreign country that you probably never visit before and not maintaining a level of sobriety so you can enjoy every second.
I agree.
Just seems stupid, and I thought women were smarter. Making any excuses for that?
They had each other's hair.
I'm done with you. Put him out.
Okay, let's roll. Because my child ain't standing here without me.
You can take her if you want.
This is Judy Justice. Sophia Johnson and her husband, Christopher Anderson, are suing Devontae Greer for medical bills, property damage, and lost wages caused by an assault.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please. Uncross your arms.
Judge, case 3183, Johnson Anderson versus Greer.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You weren't present during any of the activities that you allege in this petition. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Nor were you.
Correct.
You're her parents.
Correct.
You can sit down. You can step up.
Okay.
And you were not present during any of the activities that are alleged in this petition. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
How are you related to the defendant?
I am her uncle and her guardian.
You can have a seat.
Yes, ma'am.
Stand up. Your first name is?
My first name is Marley.
And yours?
Justice.
How old are you?
I'm 15.
And you?
14.
How long have you known each other?
We met each other this year.
Who was new to the school?
Me.
You were?
Yes.
Just this past semester?
Yes.
Okay. Marley, this petition says that you had some difficulty with the defendant.
Yes, ma'am.
And that she assaulted you, that you were injured, and that was not far from school.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so I'd like you to keep your voice up and tell me when this happened.
Okay. This all started September 21st in 2023.
December 21st, and I want you to do something. You know, young people know how to listen to each other when they talk fast. I am no longer young. You don't have to speak in slow motion, but speak the way I'm speaking.
Okay.
Got it?
Got it.
Good. December 21st.
Okay, September 21st, 2023, me and Justice took a class together, and it was our last period class. We were taking a test, and our teacher had stepped out the room for a second.
Yep, you're talking fast.
Okay.
Your teacher asked?
No, our teacher had stepped out of class for a second, and me and my friend started talking. When the teacher arrived back in the classroom, she said, "Stop talking to us." We stopped talking, but Justice and her friend were continuing to talking behind us. So my teacher told me to bring her my test, and I was going to receive a 0 for the test.
Okay.
And then I told her that that was not me talking. So my teacher told me to point at who was talking. So I pointed at Justice.
Was Justice talking?
Yes.
You remember this incident?
Yes.
Were you talking? Look at me. If you tell the truth, you don't have to have a good memory, right? Because one way or another, he's taking down everything, and this is not my first rodeo. So I'm going to ask you a question. After the teacher told them to stop talking, did you continue to talk?
No.
Okay. Did you hear Marley tell the teacher that you were talking?
Yes.
And when Marley told the teacher that you were the one talking, did the teacher ask you if you were the one talking?
No.
What did she do?
I really don't remember what did she do, but...
We're not talking about 5 years ago. We're talking about an important event. Something bad happened to you as a result of this event. What do you mean you don't remember? Look at me. what happened after Marley told the teacher that she wasn't talking, you were?
I got angry, like, because, like...
You got angry?
Yeah.
Okay. That's not unreasonable. You got angry because?
She pointed at me and I wasn't talking, and she told the teacher it wasn't me.
So did you tell the teacher it wasn't you?
Yes.
And what did the teacher do? Come on, come on.
I'm trying to think.
Just a second. Has this happened to you before in school?
Yes.
Oh, well, I was going to say, if it hadn't happened to you before, I would say that this is an important event, but it's happened to you before. What did the teacher do with regard to your test?
I don't know. I think she took the test, too. Like, she told me I couldn't take it anymore.
Okay. And what did you say to her?
I said, don't point at me. And she pointed at me again, and I said something like...
Let me hear what you said to her.
I called her a B word.
Okay, and you said that in class?
Yes.
Okay. And then the class was ultimately over?
Yes.
Tell me what happened after class.
Well, after class, me and Justice got in, like, it was an altercation, but it was verbal.
In the classroom?
Yes, and our teacher sent an administrator to come get us out of class and talk about it. And
Okay, because you started yelling at each other?
Yes, Your Honor.
In front of your teacher?
Yes.
Okay.
The administrator told us, like, is it a big deal or not? Me and her both agreed it wasn't a big deal. It was dead right there. So then I'm walking to the bus lane. So I was waiting at the bus, and then next thing I know, somebody got my hair and I'm getting punched.
Your ward told me that she went to where she was.
No, she said that there was a coincidence and they ended in the same spot. Those are her exact
Lost.
Those
lost.
Are her exact words. Verbatim.
You're lost.
Those
You're
are her
lost.
words
I don't know who
verbatim.
made you her guardian. I don't know who made you her guardian. Some fool.
Sophia Johnson and her husband, Christopher Anderson, claimed Devontae Greer owes for damages after his 14-year-old niece attacked their 15-year-old daughter at school.
Who got your hair? Did you see?
I didn't know who grabbed my hair because I was turned one way, and when I was turned this way, somebody grabbed my hair and punched me. And then when I turned around, it was Justice.
Was there anybody else there other than you and Justice?
Yes, it was the whole school. It was dismissal, so everybody was going to their buses.
Was anybody around Justice when you saw her and you got punched?
No, because when I turned around, I started defending myself, so everybody moved back, but everybody was recording.
Okay. Justice, have you seen these recordings?
Yes, I seen one.
Well, you want to tell me what happened at the bus stop?
Can I, like, rewind back before?
Of course.
Okay, like, when we talked it out or whatever with the administrator, and I thought we were cool, like, after we got done having, So it was time for dismissal to go out to, like, the buses and stuff. And I seen her in the hallway with her friends, and I walked past her, and she stopped me. She was like, we good or something? Like, we good? I'm like, yes, we good. Like, everything cool. So I'm walking out to the buses or whatever, and...
Look here. Don't go there. Look here. You're walking out to the bus, and...
Yeah, and it's like a little spot where people sit to wait for their buses and stuff. But I didn't see her after, like, we said we was good and stuff. So someone came up to me and told me, like, she wanted to fight me and all of this. And I'm like, we just squashed it in, like, the class, and we talked about it, so I don't understand why she go back and, like... So I, like, walked up to her, I tapped her, I asked her, I'm like...
No, you walked up to her.
Yeah, it wasn't like trying to check her or anything. It was just like asking her, did she like say all that stuff? Like, I didn't get mad, get rude or nothing. I asked her respectfully, like, did she say anything, like any of that stuff? She said yes. So she turned around and then I forgot what I said. I think I was like, you said I didn't want to fight you or nothing, so do you want to fight me now? Because you said I didn't want to fight you. So I'm asking you, do you want to fight? So she put her hand in my face. She turned around, she said, girl. So, like, I felt like I should defend myself. She put her hand in my face.
This is your guardian, right?
Yes.
He's going to stand up next to you. Very careful what you tell me because there's video of it all. I want you to show me what you mean when you say she put her hand in your face. Show me.
Like, she did this and turned.
Now you can sit down.
Yes, ma'am.
She put her hand up and she turned around to walk in the other direction, like this. I want to know where you hit her.
In her head.
Okay. Now, after you hit her in her head, did you start to fight with each other?
Yes, I
You
defended
started to
myself.
fight.
Yes.
And people started to videotape the fight.
Yes.
Did you have any friends there?
I was standing by my friend, but then when she had walked up and when she had hit me, she moved away, and it was just us two fighting, and then the crowd formed, and it was just like everybody was there.
Did you hit her?
Yes.
How many times?
We was fighting a long time.
Did you hit her?
Yes.
How many times?
I can't count.
Have you ever been in a fight before?
Yes.
How many times?
Once.
The same year?
No.
Year before?
Middle school.
Ever been in a fight before?
Yes.
When?
Probably like middle school.
Your mother?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you ever get into a fight?
No, nothing.
Physical?
No, ma'am.
Sit down. Did you ever get into a physical fight with anybody?
Negative.
Ever get into a fight, Whitney? I'm just curious.
No.
You know how that bizarre this sounds to me? Really bizarre. Now I'll see the video. Who's in the white? I can hardly tell.
That's justice. That's being attacked by the adult officer.
And you're in the dark, top, fighting with the officer. Right? Well, he's trying to pull you off and you're not letting go. That's what I see. Am I seeing that wrong?
Justice is holding her hair.
Just a second.
They had each other's hair.
By the way, I just thought maybe I misheard that.
Ma'am?
Did you say something about the officer attacking her?
There was an officer in the video punching Justice in her head. Yes, ma'am, I did say that. Yes, there is.
Just a second. Are you making any excuses for that behavior?
I'm saying that a grown adult has no right to punch a child, so that's not an excuse.
They're killing each other.
I'm not a
They're
fool, but
killing each other.
you as an adult would
Just
punch
a second.
child.
I would never have a child that was involved in that kind of behavior.
Well,
That's what you should, just a second. That's what you should be dealing with. You too. That's what you should be dealing with.
Well,
Children.
There's a bullying situation. You only can take so much bullying. When you're a new student and you don't know anybody in the school, you just started a week or two prior to that, yeah.
Lost. Didn't you understand? I'm not excusing the fight, but there was no fight until the punch. Do you understand that? Forget bullying, there was no fight until the punch.
There's ways to be attacked without and feel offended, and people are coming into your private, personal space without them throwing a blow at you. So I don't agree with that.
Well, I don't give a rat's behind what you agree with, sir. Okay. I'm going to tell you that she didn't go into her space. She went into her space. She walked up to the bus stop.
Can you show me that in the video? They were both at the bus stop. She touches the bus just as well.
Sir, why don't you listen to what your ward told me?
If you look at the beginning of the video, you see Marley is literally on her phone with her book bag, her purse.
I didn't see that.
Yes, ma'am. So at the beginning, you can see the
Well,
girl.
just a second. Can we go back and slow motion that?
Sophia Johnson and her husband, Christopher Anderson, are accusing Devontae Greer's 14-year-old niece of starting a fight by punching their 15-year-old daughter at school.
She told me that girls had come and yada, yada, yada in her ear, that she was saying nasty stuff about her.
Okay.
That sticks and stones will break my bones, but names will never hurt me.
Okay.
Your ward told me that she went to where she was.
No, she said that there was a coincidence and they ended in the same spot. Those are her exact
Lost.
words. Those are her exact words, verbatim.
You're lost.
Those
You're
are her
lost.
words
I don't know who made you her guardian. I don't know who made you her guardian. Some fool.
I wish we could rewind, because that's what she said. We ended in the same space by coincidence, because they both catch the bus.
I'm walking out to the buses or whatever, but I didn't see her after, and we said we were good and stuff. So someone came up to me and said everything she was saying. She wanted to fight me, all of this. And I'm like, we just squashed it in class, and we talked about it. So I don't understand why she would go back and like, yeah. So I see her outside. So I walked up to her, tapped her.
I walked up to her, and?
It was asking her, did you say all that stuff when we just squashed it? I asked her. I didn't get mad or rude or nothing. I was like, you said you didn't want to fight me. Do you want to fight? She put her hand in my face and said, girl. So I felt like I should defend myself. She put her hand in my face.
I never put my hand in her face.
Who took that video?
It was posted on Instagram, and they sent it to me, so that's how I got it.
Do you know who posted it on Instagram? It has to have
I don't know exact who, but it was one of her friends.
Was it one of your friends who posted it on Instagram?
Well, it was a lot of people reposting the video. That's were my friends that were reposting the video, but the account, we never knew who actually posted the video.
Your Honor, if I may?
Sure, you can.
If you look at the beginning of the video, whoever was recording, knowing what finna happen, because it's a little boy walking by, she's like, move, move. You see Marley is literally on her phone with her book bag, her purse.
I didn't see that.
Yes, ma'am. So at the beginning, you can see the
Well,
girl
just a second. Can we go back and slow motion that?
standing behind Marley and just attack her.
Where does she pull her hair?
Shh. Oh, just a second. Can we slow motion that again, please? Justice, you see that back in long black pants, long black hair, and the white shirt. Is that you?
Yes.
Okay. Now, we're going to do it in slow motion. Slow. So you're walking slow, slow, slow. You want to see that again, Justice?
I seen it.
Just a second.
You don't see Marley
Just a
in
second.
the video at all.
No, that looks to me as if you walked up to her and your hand came back and you punched her. That's what I see.
What I said I did.
No, I don't want to hear from you. I'm done with you. You want to do that again? Let's do it slow motion again. You're walking up to her, and as you're walking up to her, you pull your right arm back and punch her. That's what that looks like.
I never said I didn't do that. I told you exactly.
I didn't see any. Girl, did you talk to me? Did you really want to fight me? I want to fight you. Hand in your face. I didn't see any of that, Justice. I just saw you walking up to her, and as you were walking up to her, pulling your hand back and punching her. That's what that video shows. Do you want to see it again?
I've seen it multiple times.
Well, you can imagine whatever you want. It's not fantasy land. That's what that shows. Not all this palaver before that you've sold him on.
She didn't sell me.
Kevin, put him out.
This way, sir.
Put him out.
You can come right with me.
Put him out. You can take her if you want. You can take her if you want.
Okay, let's roll. Because my child ain't standing here without me.
Very good. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $10,000. We're done.
Thank you.
This court is adjourned.
After seeing the video only depicts part of the truth. The conversation was actually had before that.
The video was clear as day that she hit Marley. Marley was engaged in her phone, in her own world, and she came behind her and attacked her.
Well, this was a classic case of a bully beatdown. Someone who picks on you, intimidates you, and then when they get those hands, classic case of a bully beatdown. Someone who picks on you, intimidates you, and then when they get those hands or they take that beat down, then they want to come to the courts and play all those games.
It was no bullying.
I would say violence is not the answer, but if somebody picking on you and you got to give them them hands, hey, so be it.
Keep your hands to yourself.
You know, I sat in the family court long enough to know that with that kind of guardian, even if she was redeemable at her young age, it's going to be a long haul. Because the only thing that he found offensive was what he said the officer was behaving improperly. I don't remember what he said, punched her.
Yeah.
There was nothing in that video that suggested that the two officers was trying to do anything but pull these two girls apart, and they wouldn't let go.
Putting themselves in harm's way, and now a mob of students who are recording, who are hyped up, all because of your child's actions. So maybe you focus on that instead of the actions of others who are doing nothing more than try to discipline your child because they didn't know how to act.
Right. And there was no question when you watched that in slow motion that she came up to her and sucker punched her from behind. Well, that has to stop.
It's crazy.
She really got hurt. And the person who was supposed to give this young lady sound advice is blabbering in her ear that she was a victim. She was a victim because she's just in the school and she was being bullied. Well, that's not what the video showed. That wasn't the facts. And fortunately, with everybody walking around with a camera, you can actually record events.
Yeah, but sadly, that doesn't help the victim mentality that's being shoved down her throat by her own guardian.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
But fortunately,
it helps our job.
It helps our job to have it
on video.
On video.
Michael Ponsford for damaged property and filing a false police report.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Judge, case 3166, Unger versus Ponsford.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. Unger, your cause of action against the defendant has a couple of parts. First, you're suing him for having you falsely arrested.
Correct.
And then you say that he damaged some property which he was storing for you in a unit.
Correct, at his
Okay.
house.
Those are the two things that you're suing him for. He has a counterclaim for property damage, which he's going to tell me about. So first I'm going to deal with your complaint, because I've read your papers, and it appears to me that you two have known each other for a long time. And at some point, after knowing each other for a long time as friends, you began a relationship. In what year was that?
We didn't begin a relationship. I rented a room in his house.
Renting a room in his house, that is some sort of a relationship. That's more than shaking somebody's hand.
It's a relationship. It's a
Well, I
business
understand that, but you were, in fact, in a relationship with him while you were living in his house. Could you give me an answer, yes or no? That's a very easy answer. The answer is yes.
I'll plead the fifth.
What? Miss Unger, please don't play with me. You have a claim, and your first claim is that he had you arrested. And what I am trying to establish is the ground rules for that part of your complaint, having you falsely arrested. You knew each other for a long time.
Yes.
Let's not play with each other. You moved into his house, and when you moved into his house, you began a relationship with him after a period of time.
After a period of time.
Okay. Very good.
May I present some evidence?
No.
Sorry?
While you were living in his house, in the year 2022, 2 years ago, according to you, he had you arrested for domestic violence. And the incident surrounding that, I'm going to encapsulate and tell me if there is anything inconsistent with what you wrote in your papers and what I'm saying.
Okay.
On this date in 2022, you took his phone. You took his phone to make a call, and you went into another room in the house.
No. He gave me his phone. I asked if I could use it. He gave me the phone, and I went into his shop.
That's exactly what I said.
In the shop. It's not in the house. And I locked the door of his office so I could use the phone.
It's all pretty irrelevant to me, because what I read, what he says happened, what you say happened, are two different things, but putting it all together, you took his phone, you went into a room, you locked the door, and according to him, he tried to get into the door, and he wanted his phone because you were looking through his phone, and when he finally got into the door with a key, is that right, sir?
Yes,
because it was his house, he said that you assaulted him. You left the house subsequent to that. According to you, on that day, you went out to a movie and you went for something to eat, and then you went home. That's what it says here. And you went home, and when
says.
you got home, the police were there, and they arrested you for assault.
I was arrested for assault. I did not hit him.
Just a second. You were arrested for assault.
Yes.
That's what we're talking about. And you were taken to jail. And you were in jail for how many days?
7 days. But I didn't hit him.
Just a second. We're getting to why it doesn't matter, Miss Unger. We're getting to why it doesn't matter.
If I hit him or not?
Yes, we're getting
matter?
to why it doesn't matter. So you went to jail for 7 days. And when you got out of jail, you contacted the defendant and went back.
No, I couldn't.
And you went.
There was a restraining order.
Back to the house.
No.
Are you telling me that after this alleged assault, you and the defendant, I've read your papers, you and the defendant did not go back to having a relationship for a period of time?
No, never.
After she was released from jail, we made arrangements for Nadine to get her belongings. Is that what happened?
Correct.
Shortly after that, she came to me and apologized and wanted to rekindle things.
No.
She told me how overwhelmed she was, and her outburst was a one-time thing. She never officially moved back in, but she stayed at my house most nights. Are you telling me that that is not true?
That is not true.
Did you ever stay at his house after you got... Careful what you tell me. Did you ever stay at his house after you were released from jail?
No.
Have any proof that you did? That would be anything after September 18th, 2022.
I have the...
No, just a second. Don't speak. Just look.
Well, these...
Don't speak. I'm resting. Just find. Any communication with her after September of 2022?
I didn't say I never communicated to him, but I'd never spent the night there. He won't find anything. There's no evidence I spent the night at his house after that.
I don't know whether you did or not.
I did not.
I had screenshots taken of conversations, but nothing's dated here.
Okay.
There's no proof because it never happened.
I'm not so sure, Miss Unger, because I don't think that you were actually totally honest with me. In any event, he filed a restraining order against you, a temporary restraining order, according to what you said, and the restraining order was granted. Yes. Was it granted after a trial?
A hearing.
Well, a hearing, a trial. You appeared before a judge.
Yes.
And you were sworn to testify.
Yes.
And you testified.
Yes.
Well, you had to testify, and he testified. Other than the two of you, did anybody else testify?
No.
And after the hearing, which has the same quantum level of proof that I have here, the judge granted him a restraining order.
The judge said he didn't.
Just a second. Did the judge grant him a restraining order?
He did.
For how long?
6 months.
Nadine Unger claims her former friend, Michael Ponsford, damaged her belongings and filed false charges against her. Michael is countersuing for property damage.
Okay, I can't here, nor will I, overrule that judge's opinion about whether or not he was entitled to a restraining order. And his restraining order was based upon the events that took place in 2022, correct?
Yes.
Just that event. That was the only kerfuffle that the two of you had, I assume.
No.
It was the only time you were arrested.
Correct.
Okay. Well, the judge has already ruled on that, so I'm not considering that. It's not part of your case anymore. It's already been adjudicated.
I have the arrest report.
Have what?
The arrest report where she was arrested.
Does it take her statement as to what happened?
No.
It states that...
Shh, don't tell me what it states, then I can read it.
Your Honor, I counted 32 lies in that statement to police, the arrest report.
Mm-hmm. Police report indicates that you had a relationship with him for 2 years.
No.
Not true. Okay.
I moved in July of 2021.
And moved out when?
When I was arrested.
And never came back?
Never came back.
Okay. In any event, that case has already been adjudicated. Another judge heard evidence on it, and whether or not there was sufficient showing that he was entitled to a protective order, that court found that he did, and I'm bound by that court.
Those charges were dismissed.
I don't care whether they were dismissed. The dismissal is beyond a reasonable doubt. The quantum of proof, on the other hand, in a civil proceeding is much less. And a judge who heard his request for a protective order granted it to him on the same facts that you're asking me to hear. I cannot do that. It's called res judicata. The issue has already been decided by a court where the quantum of proof is exactly the same as it is before me. I'm not relitigating that case, Ms. Unger. Do you understand? I don't care whether you understand. I don't care whether you understand or not. I've just explained it to you. You want to consult with an attorney? You can do that. The attorney will explain the same thing. You've had your day. I'm not speaking to you.
Okay.
You've had your day in court.
I did not have a day in court. That's why I'm suing him for damages of filing a false police report.
No, madam. You did have your day in court before a judge.
That was before the charges were dropped. The charges,
listen, please.
Criminal charges were dropped after the...
It doesn't matter.
After the...
It doesn't matter. This is a civil proceeding. You had a similar civil proceeding before a judge who heard you testify as to whether or not you assaulted him, and he testified as to the nature of the assault, and that court found...
I didn't testify, though.
You just told me that you did. Could you read that back when I asked her if she told her story? Either you testified or you consented to the order. That's the only way. Yeah.
It says, and you were sworn to testify? Yes. And you testified? Yes.
I did not testify.
So when you told me you testified, you were lying to me?
It was a long time ago. I did not
It was a long time ago, too long ago for me, too. There was a final order of protection granted for 6 months. That case is finished. Now let's talk about your property.
I brought a video of the assault when she hit me in the office.
I'd like to see that, by the way, just for giggles.
Me too, for giggles.
Get out of my office. Get out of here.
He is.
Get out of here.
You get out of here.
Get out of here. Give me my phone and get out of here. God. Oh! Ow! Ow! Ow!
So fake.
Ow! She took my phone. I told her to get out of my shop, out of my office. And now she's slamming the door and twisting my foot.
That is so staged.
Ow!
You're not a good actor.
Okay, turn it
I'm
off.
not even in the picture.
Turn it off. You were in the picture, Ms. Unger. In any event, it really is totally irrelevant. That case has already been adjudicated with the granting of an order of protection to Mr. Ponsford. Now let's get to the property that you say was either taken or destroyed. Tell me what property was either taken or destroyed.
All right, I have pictures. There were 6 vending massage chairs.
It's just 6 vending?
Commercial massage chairs.
And where were they?
They were in my storage unit that we brought to his house on August 29th.
Of what year?
2022.
We're now in 2024.
Yes, I had no resources. I had no money when I got out of jail. I had no money, I had no car, and
what? And you have no case. We're finished. Your property's abandoned. If you left property, it's abandoned. It's done.
I couldn't go
back. This is 2024. You couldn't go back. You had an order of protection that was for how long? 6 months. 6 months. We're 2 years later. And I'm telling you, you have no case.
He says
so
you're
a goodbye. So you're a goodbye. I have a counterclaim. I want to know if it's as ridiculous as her claim. Your counterclaim is from what year?
2022, Your Honor.
2022. Pay careful attention to me. Have you been incarcerated since 2022?
No, ma'am.
Have you been hospitalized for more than a week since 2022?
No, Your Honor.
Where have you been since 2022?
Living and working at my home.
Very good. Then you should have brought your counterclaim, which you could have acted as a claim, in 2022, correct? Just answer my question. That's why courts say you have to act within a period of time that's reasonable. 2 years is not reasonable. I say that to her with regard to the property she's fetching about, and I say the same to you. You have a problem with her damaging your property. You should have brought an action 2 years ago.
I dwelled on it for a while.
Well, dwell on my dismissal for a while. This case is over.
This court is adjourned.
Well, I planned on having a case for 2 years, putting it together, and, didn't get a chance.
This case was a great display of timeliness and why it matters, especially in courts. I think 2 years is a long time to wake up every single day and you still have the property damage every single day. And then you don't decide until one morning, maybe I should sue for that. And it takes up court's time. And not to say it's not important, but if it was that important to you, you would have sued in a timely, as you said, to the reasonable person, which in this case is you.
Well, it's unreasonable. You're putting the defendant in a position of having to respond to a cause of action without any specificity. And that's unreasonable.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Case number 3007, Lacey versus Mayo. All parties, please step forward.
Courtney Lacey is suing her former friend, Marcus Mayo, for business products, lost wages, and harassment.
Right, Ms. Lacey, there's a whole story here that really doesn't necessarily impact on the bare bones facts of this case. The bare bones facts are you met the defendant on TikTok.
Correct.
And you were in the beard business. That is, you made products for men, for their beard.
Yes, ma'am.
I assume that that jar that's there for show and tell is one of them.
Courtney Lacey claims her former friend, Marcus Mayo, threw away her beard products without permission. Marcus is countersuing for rental car charges and lost work.
Now, the defendant traveled to where you live from what state to what state?
Connecticut to Ohio.
In order to help you at a fair to sell your product.
Yes, ma'am.
When? What month and year?
My event date was April 1st of 2023, and he did come in 2 days.
So around April of 2023 is when you went to the fair, and there was a fair. I don't know whether you sold products or not, but you went with her.
Yes, ma'am.
Was there a business arrangement? Were you supposed to get any financial remuneration, or were you just meeting this person in the flesh that you had met on TikTok?
Nothing was talked about. We just showed up and winged it.
Okay. And then whatever happened, you were leaving and going back to Connecticut.
Yeah.
And when you left, you took some product with you.
I was given the product.
But you took some with you.
Yes.
I didn't say you stole it. You took some product in your car,
Yes,
right?
ma'am. Yes.
Tell me what you took in your car.
It was a couple of cases. I believe what she said was 78 jars of a product.
78 jars of her product. How many had you sold at the fair?
I sold about 3 at the vendor's event.
You sold 3?
Yes.
I also donated $40.
I don't care. 78 jars is what you took home. Okay. And what is the retail cost of these 78 jars?
$25 a jar.
And what is your cost? You're in business to make that jar. What is the jar and the product? How much does it cost?
With everything put together, it cost me roughly around $6, $7. Just depends on what scent I'm using.
So say it costs you $6 a jar. That would be $468. Okay, you're suing him for $3,600, so that's ridiculous. So he took this product, and at some point, you wanted it back.
Yes.
So when did you tell him you wanted it back?
When I seen that he was bashing me on social media once he left, I wasn't aware that he felt some type of way. I asked
Just
him,
tell me what date it was that you wanted it back.
It would have been April 3rd.
And did he tell you that he would send it back if you paid for it?
He did several times.
He did several times say, I'll send it back if you send me.
Yes.
And did you?
He said that he was going to go to the UPS store and overnight it. I told him I did not have overnight money. Then he told me he was going to throw my product away, that he wasn't going to mess with it.
And that was in April. What'd you do with the product, Mr. Mayo?
I held on to it.
No, it's April. That's not a long time ago. How long did you hold on to it?
I held on to it for a week. The following Monday, I heard nothing from her. She blocked me on everything. I said I'd give her 2 days to give me a call, let me know what's going on.
Do you have that in messages?
Every message between us that whole morning is right here.
By the way, what were you going to do with these 78 jars?
She wanted me to sell them for her and give her the money. I was under the understanding that I was going to.
Did you say to him, throw it away, I'll report it as stolen property?
After the numerous threats
Just a
him
second.
telling me.
Did you say that to him?
Yes.
Okay, so sounds that to me, and I've read the papers, and the text messages between you seem to support the idea that he came for a few days, you rented a car.
I rented the Tesla.
How much was the Tesla to rent?
Rented me about $1,400. I have the actual.
Okay, no, I'm not entertaining your counterclaim, sir.
Okay.
Your counterclaim's nonsense. But he rented a car to come to help you. You hadn't actually met him before.
Right.
And when he came, your children were someplace else for the event, for the weekend, or you thought for a few days, and he was going to stay with you on your sofa. That's what you said.
Only for the event.
Well, he wouldn't have driven I don't know how many states away and rented a car to come for one day. That sounds ridiculous. And you actually acknowledge that you weren't expecting your children to come home, but your children were coming home, and you felt uncomfortable about him being in the house when your children were home, so you asked him to leave. That you acknowledge.
Right.
Okay. And so he left. I don't know whether he left during the course of an argument, but somehow he took these jars of product worth $460, and he didn't take them without your permission. He took them with your permission.
Right, we had an agreement.
That was?
That he was going to take some back. He had some barber friends and friends that was interested in buying.
Right.
And he asked if he could have a box of each scent.
Okay. And he took 78 boxes back, which are worth $468. That's your cost.
That's the price it cost for me to
Yeah, he's not paying you. He's not paying you for what you retail it for. You had a disagreement. He offered to send it back if you paid for it. He held on to it for a week. Should he have held on to it longer? I don't know. That is a sort of subjective thing. I can't say you should hold on to it for a month. You should have sent it to her COD if she didn't want to pick it up. She didn't have to pick it up, but I don't know where you send things COD anymore. I don't think that they do that anymore. Anyway, your whole loss is maybe $400 in product and jar.
But he took the jars to sell them for me to his friends. I offered him permission. And
I
he
don't
didn't want
care. It seems to me that you both made some bad choices. It wasn't explained to him, and I don't know what he was thinking, nor do I want to know what he was thinking. You know, to drive for a day and a half, to come to your house, not knowing who you are. He went to the event. He was helpful at the event, and then you told him that you had to leave, go to a hotel. That's what you said.
We didn't talk about the plans after the event. That's where
then you should have. Actually, you should have.
Right, and I took accountability for that.
$468. You threw her product away. There were other things that you could have done with it. You sure you threw it away?
I did.
You did. Why? You couldn't use it? You didn't like it for your beard?
It meant nothing to me after that. I was just looking at it made me mad.
Okay, good. $468. Judgment for the plaintiff. We're done. Thank you.
This court is adjourned.
I held on to it for as long as I could. I tried to be reasonable for as long as I could.
The beard whip is my passion, and to know that somebody can just take it and throw it away.
And it got to a point where she was unreasonable, so I discarded the product.
He took my jars, and he said, well, I have friends back at home that's willing to buy because they want to try it in there in barbershops.
He clearly was not going to pay to have it mailed back.
He was just a friend I met on TikTok that I thought was my friend, but obviously he had other intentions.
Immediate red flag all women should look out for. If you don't know a guy's middle and last name, he should not be driving states, flying states, going to an airport, going on vacation. If you just met someone, if the only way that you are able to contact someone is through social media because you don't have their phone number, they should not be coming to your house.
That's true. Yeah.
So, immediate red flag.
But I don't understand him either. You know, there's another universe there.
I'm sure there had to be some underpinnings of promises or whatever from her end because he didn't seem like a stupid guy. He doesn't seem like someone that just has nothing to do.
He rented a Tesla and drove a day and a half to get there just to help her with the fare.
Exactly.
Is suing his ex-girlfriend, Melina Mack, for stolen money after using his Cash App.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, everyone.
Hello, Judge. Case 3023, Sword versus Mack.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Swan, Miss Mack is your former girlfriend, and you claim that she stole money from your Cash App.
Yes.
She denies that she took the money, and she's counterclaiming because she says that you injured her cat. She wants you to pay the vet bills.
That's correct.
Were you and Miss Mack living together?
Yes, we was living together for about 3 years, maybe a little over.
Okay. At her apartment?
Yes.
Who else was living with you?
Her 2 children, her 2 daughters.
So tell me about the withdrawal from your Cash App. When did that happen?
All right, so around March 9th, this happened.
March 9th of 2023?
Yes. So around March 6th, I text her and asked her information about my Cash App. The reason why I did that, well, I didn't text her, I messaged her on Facebook. The reason why I did that, I didn't have a phone at the time. She had the phone that I was using at the time that had the Cash App on there and any other information about anything with me.
Why did she have your phone?
About a week prior, we broke up completely this time. It was on and off before that. At this week, we was pretty much she was just done with me.
Why does she have your phone?
Technically, it's not my phone. It's her phone that she allowed me to use because I wasn't able to.
Okay, so it's her phone.
Yes.
And on her phone, you had the information with regard to your Cash App.
Yes.
Okay, now you're broken up and you texted her or you put something on Facebook.
Yeah, I messaged her on
Facebook. And said, what happened to my money?
No. I messaged her because I needed to know. I didn't have any information about what was on my Cash App. And that's mainly where I have my money. So I needed to know what was on my Cash App so I could put gas in the car, get to work for that week, and so forth. So I did ask her. I said, hey, what's on the Cash App? She definitely texted me back. She said, I can't look on your Cash App without the confirmation. I thought at this point she already had the confirmation code because she has used it before, but I could be wrong or she could have forgot. So I did give her the confirmation.
So you gave her the ability to take money out of your Cash App by giving her the confirmation?
Technically, yes, I did, but...
Not technically. Yes, you gave her the ability to take money out of your Cash App.
Yes.
And this was after you had broken up already.
Yes.
And on what date did you give her that confirmation number?
March 6th.
And when was the money removed from your Cash App?
March 9th.
How much money was removed?
$3,000.
Even?
Yes, even $3,000.
May I see, please?
Yes. Also, I have this first page.
Just show me the money first.
Okay.
We'll do this in my order, because I'm a very orderly person. Would you look this up for me, please?
Sure. I can't see it from here, do you?
What's your name, by the way?
Nevaeh. I have the, the Bizopedia, the company name. It says Janae Horns as a company contact.
How long have you known Miss Horns?
I've known her for like 4, maybe 5 years.
When you were dating the plaintiff, did you ever introduce her to him?
Yes.
How often?
They didn't really get along the first time they met. So I didn't really have her come over too much after that unless I was like buying her artwork or candles from her.
Okay.
Or if she stopped
So they
in town.
didn't have, so they met, he didn't like her, she didn't like him, they didn't
Yeah,
meet.
but...
Just a second. So you had very little contact. She was your friend, right? Is not an answer.
Yes.
I would like you to tell me how $3,000 got taken out of his Cash App to your friend. Just a second. And I want you to think about this, Miss Mack. I've been living on this planet for 80. That's a long time. You may not know that, but it's a long time. And I've been around this business a long time. If it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a duck. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
How did his $3,000 get to your friend?
Well...
No, don't look up here. Don't look here.
Okay.
How did his $3,000 get to your friend between the 6th and the 9th of March?
Well, between the 6th and the 9th of March, Dewan was trying to contact me and come back over and apologize and work things out, this and that. And that's what I allowed him to do because I didn't want to believe that.
Would you please tell me how his $3,000 ended up with your friend between the 6th and the 9th of March?
He sent it
Don't
to
give
her.
me a whole story.
He sent it to her?
He sent it
He
to her.
sent it to her.
Now, would you tell me how somebody who doesn't particularly, according to you, like your friend, so you kept them apart, tell me how and why he would send her that money? You tell me.
I don't know.
I don't know either. $3,000 on your side.
Exactly.
Yeah, just a second. $3,000 on your side so far. Now, we're going to get to a counterclaim, and I have to tell you this, I don't like liars. You lie to me once, I believe very little of what you say, except when it comes to injuring animals, which is what your counterclaim is about. Mr. Swarm.
Yes.
Something happened while you were living with the plaintiff with her cat, which caused an initial kerfuffle with her.
Yes.
And that was around February or March.
It was late February.
She wasn't home. What did you do to her cat?
Well, I didn't do anything.
Yes, you did.
Well, it was an accident that happened.
I don't care whether it was an accident or
Okay.
an on purpose.
I was all wet.
Dewan Sworn claims his ex-girlfriend, Melina Mack, owes for stolen money from using his Cash App. Melina is countersuing Dewan for vet bills and emotional distress.
What did you do to her cat?
All right, I definitely fell on her cat.
You fell on it.
Yes.
How did you, just a second, how did you fall? I want you to explain to me how you fell on her cat.
Okay, no one was home. I worked 2 jobs. I know.
Just get to how you fell on her cat.
I was in the shower, and I was waiting on a phone call. It was a Zoom meeting, and when I heard my phone, I automatically jumped out, not thinking about anything, opened the door because the bathroom is not that huge, so I jumped out the shower, opened the door. The cat was right there. I did not see the cat, because if I seen the cat, I would not have ran out. I was all wet. I was running out into the room, which was next to the bathroom, and then I pretty much slipped. My knee went first, and my back went back, just like that. I did not even know I hit the cat. The cat must have ran initially when I got up, because when I got up, I was just holding my back and went into the room. I didn't see the cat. Several moments later, I was on the phone with the defendant, and I look over, the cat was on the couch just sitting there, and I see blood in his eye. I said, hey, something wrong with the cat. I initially told her, hey, I don't know what's going on. I didn't see anything that happened. I know I didn't do anything purposely or anything like that to the cat. I wouldn't beat a cat. I wouldn't hit the cat. None of that stuff. I would not do anything like that, knowing how much her daughters and she like that cat. That, matter of fact, to come into this relationship, that was one of the biggest things.
Okay, what happened to the cat?
I was at the store.
No, I know you were at the store, and I know he told you something went wrong with the cat. You took the cat to the vet when you got home, and you have a report for me from the vet?
Yes.
I'd like to see it. Cash payment 58, cash payment 60, cash payment 155. And you gave her $500?
Yes, I did.
Show me proof of that.
Here's one. I have another one. Just give me 1 second. Here it is.
March 8th, he sent you $500.
Yes.
Yeah, that covers your vet bill. More than covers this vet bill.
He sent me that. He sent me that because he was staying with me. He was supposed to be paying me while he was staying with me.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $3,000.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
This court is adjourned.
Wow. Well, what happened to the cat was he supposedly fell on him, which I have other evidence stating that it couldn't have been due to a fall.
It was an accident that actually happened, and because I knew that it was an accident involving me, I did pay for the damages.
That Cash App situation has nothing to do with me. That actually has to do with the person that he sent it to.
I have no idea. Maybe that was her way of masking her from showing me that she stole the money. I don't know.
I think it was very clear from the plaintiff's first initial story that he didn't intentionally harm the cat. He didn't seem the type. His story matched up. And honestly, the defendant seemed like she was just a money-hungry...
She got $3,000 from him. She took $3,000 out of his account. And she gave it to her friend who gave it back to her.
As if she didn't think one of us would figure out that we know that person, she knows that person, it went back to her.
Right. Maybe.
It is an interesting argument. I want to look up some other legal cases involving money from Cash App, Venmo, that sort of thing, because would it be misappropriation because technically she did have the login of funds, or just larceny, just stealing of the money?
Well, it is larceny, and she attempted to cover that by sending it to a friend rather than taking it out personally. Anyway.
The right thing happened in the end.
The right thing happened in the end, except the cat was really injured. Cat was really injured.
An accident's an accident, but... He did send the $500 for the bill that was accurate, so...
Right. And more than accurate.
Megan McCarthy and Ryan Fott are suing their former employee, Roberto Encinas, for overpayment of wages, bookkeeping fees, and loss of business income.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Hello, Judge. Case number 3048, McCarthy Fault versus Asinas.
Mr. McCarthy? Miss McCarthy. Do you run the business together? Are you related to each other?
Yes, husband and wife.
Okay. What kind of business do you have?
It's a production design and set construction company. We build sets for
Where is it located?
Van Nuys.
In California?
California, yes.
How long have you owned the business?
About 7 years.
Tell me when you hired Mr. Encinas.
We originally hired him in January of 2022.
To do what?
Welding and fabrication.
Did you have experience in that, Mr.?
Oh, yeah, 25 years.
How much were you paid when you were originally hired?
$39.75 hourly, and promised to be in the union.
$39.75 hourly.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get paid once a week?
Once a week, every Wednesday.
By check or cash?
Direct deposit.
Is that correct?
I believe it was $39.50, but yes, the rest is...
Direct deposit?
Yes.
This is what your case is about. At some point, you determined that you had overpaid Mr. Encinas. When did you discover that you were overpaying Mr. Encinas?
We discovered the error on September 22nd, 2022.
And had you been consistently overpaying him since January?
No, so it's a little bit complicated. We have two companies, one is union, one is not. In April of 22, we hired him with our non-union company to perform a different non-union job, and that is when the error occurred with that company and that payroll company. He was entered into the system incorrectly by my bookkeeper, who's here as our witness today.
Okay, it was still direct deposit.
Correct, yes.
The net that was deposited into his check when he was working in the union shop was how much?
I would estimate $1,800 to $2,000.
Well, don't estimate. That's what we're doing here.
I don't have an exact figure of how much he netted every week. It was different every week on every job.
Because he worked
different amount of hours.
Different hours. So he worked different hours. So the direct deposit was different for each time.
Sure.
So there was really no way, there were no flashing red lights that would say to Mr. Encinas, this pay stub is wrong. You know, this deposit was wrong because it wasn't a consistent amount that went in every Wednesday. It was, according to you, a different amount depending upon how many hours worked. He wasn't given a physical check. Money was put into the bank by a direct deposit. That's what you said.
That's correct.
Okay.
But if I may, it would be anywhere from $1,700 to $2,000. The first overpayment, he netted $4,645. Like, it's quite a jump in pay. Like that was probably should have been
a lot of overtime.
Just
yes, quite a difference.
Quite a difference, but that was going from one job to another, from one company to another, from a union job to a non-union company.
Rate.
Well, whatever. Okay. And so what you're suing for the overage that you paid him.
Yes.
And there came a time when you discussed the overage with him. And what did he say when you told him that he was overpaid? And when did you tell him that he was overpaid?
We told him September, the day we discovered the error, September 22nd, and it was very amicable at first. We apologized for the error. We wanted to work out a payment plan with him, and he agreed. He said, I get it. I would love to do a payment plan, and I believed him because we had a good working relationship.
And did you, in fact, draw up a payment plan that you both signed?
No, I did not.
Okay. Unusual case for me. I really am unfamiliar with the law on overpayment. Sarah, could you look up for me the California law on when an employee is overpaid by an employer? How do they and can they recoup it?
Sure. So it's California Labor Code 221. The statute describes that employers are forbidden from taking back any wages that have already been paid to employees unless there's a stipulation that the employee can agree in writing to the deduction by the employer. So if an employee consents to a set-off or a wage deduction for any reason, including overpayment by an employer, then the employer can make it so long as it does not bring the worker below the minimum wage or the deduction does not impact the worker's final wages. But it has to be in a writing.
Okay, so you don't have a writing?
Well, we have it in email where he did agree to a payment plan. We never formally, I didn't have my attorney draft up a formal agreement, no.
You don't have an agreement, one that he agreed to, but you started taking money out of his pay, correct?
With his knowledge, a small percentage.
Doesn't matter. You started taking money out of his pay when?
He was working for us at the time when we caught the error.
No, in September.
September, the third week of September.
And at that time, how much do you allege that he was overpaid?
$6,595.41.
And what did you start to take out of his pay?
It was $276 that first time.
Where did you come up with that number?
I would have to refer to my bookkeeper, Danny. I don't exactly remember. It says 7 hours, less 7 hours. That wasn't his full paycheck. It was a small percentage of what he was making that week.
You're the bookkeeper?
Yes, ma'am.
Could you stand up for one moment? What is your name?
Danny White.
Mr. White, the first time that you gave Mr. Encinas a direct deposit for less than his pay, how much was the direct deposit for?
I don't have the total amount of what it was for. He would have been making around $1,800, and I took $296.
With his knowledge, we informed him, obviously.
I don't care what you informed him about. You understood what the law is. I'm sure that you must have spoken to an attorney also. Did you not?
I don't believe we did, no.
You should have, because where you live, you can't just take money out of somebody's salary if you overpay them. How many deductions did you make from his pay before he left?
2.
And then he left?
The job ended.
Well, he had been working for you for a while, so the job ended. Did you fire him?
Megan McCarthy and Ryan Fox claim their former employee, Roberto Encinas, is refusing to pay back the wages they overpaid him.
Well, he had been working for you for a while, so the job ended. Did you fire him?
No.
You just said goodbye.
The job was complete. We did the build and we sent it to the client, and then that job was over. So.
Well, I know, but he had been working for you January and February and March, April, May, June, July, August, September, I'm sure on different jobs. Would that be a fair statement? He worked on different jobs. But in September, when this overpayment was noticed, the job was over and so was he.
Correct.
So he didn't leave you. According to what you just told me, he didn't leave you. You said goodbye, the job's over.
Yeah, correct. I had every intention of working with him again. We had a good working relationship. I thought we were going to be able to work out a payment plan and figure it out together.
Okay. Well, sorry, but you can't. Thank you, Mr. White. Okay. You have a whole bunch of reasons why you shouldn't owe them the money. One of them is they were supposed to get you into a union shop, and you didn't, and so that's why you don't owe them money. Bottom line is the statute protects you, but one of the problems that I see when you have a direct deposit, your problem is that according to you, his pay varied every week because sometimes he worked 7 hours, sometimes he worked 15 hours, and so his pay would vary depending upon how much was billed for that week. Well, it depends upon how carefully someone reviews their direct deposit. You know, if you review your direct deposit and you have money coming in to a checking account and going out, you don't watch it that carefully over a relatively short period of time, because it was a relatively short period of time. And the law protects Mr. Encinas from you recouping that money unless he agrees to it. And the agreement has to be in writing. Is that what you just told me the law is in California?
That is the Labor Code 221.
Yeah, I'm not particularly sympathetic with you, Ms. McCarthy, because under the circumstances, if you had given him a check, if your bookkeeper handed him a check, and he used to get $2,000, and then all of a sudden he changed jobs and he was getting $4,000, he would say, oh my goodness. But I can understand how you can miss that for a month or two and not notice that in your checking account. And that's why the law is there to protect him. And it does. It protects him from your lawsuit. We're done. Thank you very much. Case is dismissed.
This court is adjourned.
I'm a little disappointed, but very disappointed, actually.
They made a mistake.
I thought that I had done my homework and looked it up, and whatever I read said that he owed me the money back.
Because I did all the hours that they put down on the paperwork.
No, I think it was stealing. After 6 months of him ignoring my phone calls and not replying and saying he was going to make payments and he just wouldn't, yeah, it felt like it was stealing.
I did not get free money.
Yeah, if you're given money that isn't yours, give it back.
The statute is meant to protect the employee from the employers removing money for things like insurance or tax deductions. So that's why there needs to be a signed writing to say I'm opting into insurance, or, you know, I'm going to file my own taxes, all of that minutia that you have to deal with employers. But it does say that if you agree in writing to a deduction as the employee,
as a clawback,
that's okay. But here, as we saw very clearly, there was no signed writing. But the way I read the statute was that had to be in writing in order to protect the employee.
It just looks like it can't be a unilateral determination of how much you're going to take out.
Sure.
Also, I found interesting, and I really believe this because somebody who gets direct deposits from other things, I don't look every week to see whether the direct deposit has been made. I'll call once a month or I'll wait and get my statement. But what she said was, and you know, math is not our strong suit, she was suing for $6,000. And what she said was he was overpaid by $2,000 a paycheck, which means there were only 3 paychecks that he would have been overpaid, which is really very easy to miss, but very easy to spend. If you look on your phone and you see you have so much money in your bank and you spend it, what are you supposed to do?
But he had a good explanation for why it wasn't that far off from his usual. He had put in extra time on his time cards for overtime and things of that nature. So I agree with you that 3 payments for a little bit more than what you were used to, I don't think would have raised a red flag.
Because he may not have looked.
Sure.
It was interesting because I didn't get from the papers that they let him go.
I didn't either. That came
I
out
thought that he just stopped working from reading the papers because they started to take money out of his check. And then she acknowledged that, well, the job ended. Well, many jobs that he had ended because they have jobs since January, 8 months.
I picked up on that.
After this one, they let him go.
Follow the rules if you want to get your money back.